This is a day, if you're a Wabash alum, a DePauw alum, or simply put, a red-blooded American sports fan, you should circle on your calendar every year. It's Bell Day, baby. For the 130th time, the Monon Bell Classic is played, and for a fourth year, we have it on the ISC Sports Network. And these two teams have never been better facing each other. My name is Greg Rakestraw, joined by Brad Walker-Merca and Steve Hoffman. Welcome to Bell Day on the ISC Sports Network. DePauw top 10 in the country and 9-0, looking for a second consecutive 10-0 regular season. Wabash is 8-1. They're 7-0 in league play for a third consecutive year. It's not just the Bell, but it's the North Coast Athletic Conference Championship and the automatic berth in the D3 playoffs. But make no mistake, it's about the Bell first and foremost. As the home team, Brad Walker-Merca, our DePauw analyst, gets to go first. Again, what Brett Dietz has done here these last 3 years has been remarkable. Last year, the Tigers went 10-0, made the Division III playoffs. The thought is they might even be better this year than they were a season ago.
Yeah, I don't think it's just a thought. I think it's a reality. The team's a wagon, Greg. They're really good. Number 1 scoring defense in the country. Number 3 scoring offense in the country. Setting records left and right. Nathan McCahill, the quarterback, second in the NCAA at passing efficiency. Robbie Valentine, school record 17 touchdown receptions on the year. It's a really, really good team who plans to make noise not just this weekend, but into the Division III playoffs. But you know what? That starts next weekend. It always matters who comes home with the Monon Bell. And Coach Brett Dietz said, look, this team is motivated by hardware, and there is hardware on the line today. Yes, a conference championship, but obviously that big bell, and this team wants to bring that home before they worry about what comes next.
And Steve, for Wabash, the question was going to be, what was life going to look like after Liam Thompson? This is the first Bell game that someone else will start for Wabash since 2018. Well, life looks pretty good. Second quarterback of the season for Wabash, but here they are undefeated in NCAC play.
Yeah, keep an eye on Brant Campbell today. Brant Campbell came into the season looking to be the third or fourth quarterback at Wabash. Then he ends up being behind Blake White, who gets injured in the third game of the year, inserts himself, or gets inserted. On his first pass in college, he throws a touchdown pass. Good signs. His decision-making has improved all year long. He's got some big weapons in Liam's brother, Connor Thompson, and T.J. Alexander, and Cannon Chase, Connor Garrity. But make no mistake, we're going to see a heavy dose of Xavier Tyler running the football today.
If this game is anything like last year, then you're in for a treat. Also joining us a season ago was Kelsey Casper, back for her second Bell game. Let's head to the sidelines right now. Good afternoon, Kelsey.
Well, guys, today marks the final Monell Bell game in Dan Morrell's head coaching career here at Wabash. Coach Morrell announced his retirement at the end of last season, but it's a little bit of a unique situation here at Wabash as they have already announced who their next head coach will be for next season. It's going to be their alum and defensive coordinator in Jake Gilbert. In my conversations with Coach Morrell this week, he said he couldn't imagine finishing his final game and then starting the job search process for the next coach. He couldn't imagine being a player on this team, not knowing who your net head coach would be. He says Wabash is a really special place, and they handled this entire situation in a really special way. Morrell, though, he's not going too far. He's going to be staying at Wabash. He's joining their advancement office, continuing to work and grow with those relationships he's built, as well as work with the alumni in the Wabash community. Guys.
Kelsey, thank you very much. Tim Hessing is our referee. The coin toss is taking place as we speak. DePauw has won the coin toss. We'll see if they elect to defer or if they want the ball to start.
Has won the toss and elected to
So we'll see the Wabash College offense on the field. And since Kelsey talked about it, Steve, you're around Don every day. Both of these institutions have wonderful leaders of young men coaching their teams in Don Morrell. Frankly, the same will be the case for Jake Gilbert next year. Brett Dietz for DePauw. What has Don meant to campus, and what is his role going to be like going forward?
Well, that's a really good question, because what Don has meant to campus is Don is a holistic guy. Like, he's a holistic teacher of young men. He's all about their experience. If a kid wants to study abroad in the spring and he's going to miss spring football, he encourages them to study abroad and to go on an immersion trip and do whatever, because he's all about good young men coming out of Wabash, and he's done a great job with that.
Here come the Tigers on the field. Brad, you have lived that moment. What is going through their minds right now, hosting a Monon Bell game?
I mean, you look at all the fans, especially got a beautiful day like this, but you don't normally play in front of this many people. The temporary stands brought in, it's packed. It's brother on brother. A lot of these guys playing on this field may have played with each other, definitely against each other in high school, especially how many Indiana high school kids we have on both of these rosters. So it's a chance for bragging rights, not just today, but for a long, long time. This is exciting. You're not thinking about anything else going forward. You're thinking about this football game, these 4 quarters, and this is the one most people are going to remember.
And again, there is a good chance that both of these two teams are playing again this season, and it is possible that they are playing in the Division III playoffs. The D3 field expanded this year from 32 teams to 40. There is a line of thought that even if DePauw were to lose this game, they might be an at-large berth as Brett Dietz is looking on and getting ready for today's contest. I'm sure that's the farthest thing from his mind, but DePauw may be in regardless of this game.
Yeah, I think that you look at models, and I don't know what kind of dork I am that I'm looking at models and projections for Division III. Well, I'm sure you do too.
Yes,
yeah, you've seen
You're
it.
hanging with the right crowd.
I mean, it would have to take a pretty significant blowout and then maybe a surprise in some other games, I think, for DePauw not to get in, even with a loss.
On the flip side, Wabash knows they have to win their way in. However, and we have seen this at the Division II level. Frankly, we at ISC have been a part of games like this. There is now going to be a bowl doubleheader that takes place in Canton, Ohio, next Saturday. It will be the best teams that do not make the NCAA postseason from the Heartland Conference, the OAC, and the President's Athletics Conference. If Wabash isn't playing in the NCAA field next week, they'll be playing in that game next Saturday.
Yeah, it's the inaugural bowl series, and so if it ends up being Wabash, then Wabash will end up playing the next best team in the Heartland Conference. It's sponsored by Open Doors, which is a NIL a portal, if you will, for Division III athletes.
So that's the last conversation of anything after 4 o'clock today. Everything is now focused in the next 3 hours. Crazy things happen. Trick plays happen in this game. And maybe even on the opening kickoff. And I'm not talking about DePauw, as their longtime kicker in Ben Gomez from Cathedral High School is set to kick this one away. Sunny skies, a cool breeze, and temperatures in the mid-50s. Where else would you rather be than Blackstock Stadium and Greencastle, Indiana? Here we go. The Monon Bell Classic, and this one is going to be returned. It is Ringer who finds a seam, and Steve, that's part of the story. Wabash doesn't usually return kicks. They're kind of planning on it today.
Well, I know Coach Merrill was planning on returning the first kick today, bouncing around like that. DePauw may have been trying to scribble a little bit just to throw that off, and so and then plus we have a linebacker returning. It's who we wanted returning the ball, which is so Coach Merrill in itself.
So ball the 28-yard line again. Brand Campbell, sophomore from the state of Florida. Again, this was supposed to be Blake White's opportunity. A shoulder injury in week number 2 ended his season. We'll tell you more about his story later in the game. Campbell, 17 touchdowns on the season, just shy of 1,500 yards passing. And again, he has been tremendous in his first go-round as the Wabash College quarterback. Xavier Tyler. Expect a heavy dose of Tyler. Expect heavy hitting in this game. The Tigers get there first. It's second down.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly the way you want to start a football game. Hard hit on a nice hole up the middle. But this DePauw defense, I mentioned, number 1 in the country scoring defense, they are going to be building a wall all afternoon.
Well, the Monon Bell game should start off with a play where we hear the hit from the top of the press box.
That would be Luke Marsh. Luke, the 7th leading tackler in DePauw history, former Western Boone star, second down and 10. Again, this is a run-heavy team. This is a vaunted DePauw run defense. Tyler picks up 3. Last year, DePauw had allowed about 400 yards rushing all season until the Bell game, and Wabash ran it for 310 yards. But so far, the Tiger defense up to the challenge.
Yeah, I think we're still picking, I know I am, picking my jaw up off the floor from last year when we were surprised at how well Wabash ran the football. But man, Marsh, Bruder, those guys in the middle of that DePauw defense, those linebackers, They are longtime players, some of the best DePauw's had in a long, long time, and they really set the tone for this D.
DePauw as a team is averaging, allowing 178 yards per game. That's the best in Division III. Again, handoff to Tyler, even on third down, a 4-yard pickup, 4th down and 3. And again, Steve, to kind of develop a young quarterback, it has been a run first, run second Wabash system all season long.
Well, that is true, and I would even say in any of Coach Morrell's years, he's definitely a run first, pass second guy. Even with Liam, we like to put the ball in the air, but if he didn't have a good running game, he made sure we got a good running game. And keep an eye on this. One thing he's good about doing is game planning as the game goes on. He gets through his script to try to open up some holes for the running game.
Brody Rucker, who handles most of the kicking duties for Wabash, on to punt this one away, averaging 37 yards a kick. End over end kick away from the return man, who will field on a bounce, and a minimal gain. That time on the return for DePauw. That would be Carson Johnson, young man from Cathedral High School. It is a heavy dose of Cathedral Irish players that play in Greencastle.
You say these coaches know where to go to recruit. That's a good source, a good pipeline of players for both of these schools.
Speaking of that, Nathan McCahill is the starting quarterback for DePauw. Was a 1-year starter for the Irish, a 2-year starter here at DePauw. Has thrown for 80 touchdowns. He is 5 short of the DePauw school record. He has thrown 39 touchdowns this year and 2 interceptions. But it'll be a quarterback draw, which is not exactly something he is used to. Hopefully the umpire's okay. He took a pretty good wallop there as well. But for McCahill, 16 yards and a Tiger first down.
Yeah, that's just a great way to start the game. Nice, simple run. And that umpire, man, get out of the way. Look out. We don't want to get hurt on the first offensive play of the game.
Did
for
you
DePauw.
see that
Ouch.
as a planned keeper, or was it his target? I didn't get a good look at the replay.
No, I think he had a look outside that he was going for, didn't like it, but knew that his second option and was blocked well. So I think they told the line, let's block that like a draw if the pass isn't there.
McCahill, his longest run of the season, 25 yards. That one went for 16. 1st and 10, 44-yard line. On the handoff. First down, Tigers into Wabash territory, and that is Caden Whitehead. Whitehead, 656 yards rushing and 9 touchdowns on the season, and that play will go for 18 yards.
This is such a cohesive group up front for DePauw on the offensive line. They've been very lucky to be limited by injuries this year. This group has played almost the entire season, all 5 together for most of DePauw's games coming in. They're big, they're experienced, and they love to run the football.
Bennett Smith and Rylan Watkins form the wall in the middle. Left guard and right guard for the Tigers on that play. So back-to-back first downs in the running game. Fake, throw, catch, and that is a name that we will call a lot today. Robbie Ballantyne, his 57th reception of the season. The young man from Andrean and Crown Point has 17 touchdowns on the campaign.
Yeah, that number of 17 touchdowns in 9 games is an unbelievable number. I know one thing Coach Gilbert wanted to do today, which he said might drive him nuts a little bit and test his patience, is he wanted to take away the pass first, which is not like him, and let DePauw might run the ball successfully a little bit. Hopefully didn't want to let them run this successfully early in the game.
Jake Gilbert, the head coach in waiting, is the DC this year, replacing Mike Ridings. And there the Wabash defense bows up. Gavin Rupert will be a name that we will call all throughout the game. 69 tackles coming in for the junior weak side linebacker.
It's a big play right there. DePauw has really moved the ball well on the ground, and then that pass on first down. Now you've got him in a third down. A little bit of momentum here for Wabash.
Make sure I give Jordan Cree some credit there as well. Jordan on your screen, the nose tackle, makes his 34th tackle of the season as well. Potential 4-down territory, 3rd down and 3 for the Tigers. Just the 5th play of the drive. Again, it's a handoff. Again, it's Whitehead. And Whitehead, I believe, is going to be short. And I don't think this is going to be much up for deliberation. Tigers will go for it on 4th and a yard.
Yeah, I think this is, there's plenty of plays for this that Brett Dietz and his staff have dialed up. So no hesitation to keep the offense out and try to keep the drive alive.
So Whitehead, the junior from Park Tudor School. 4th and 1, and no special formation. Actually, there will be. McCahill in the lineup as a wideout. This will be a direct snap to Whitehead. No additional personnel on here for DePauw. Need to get this to just shy of the 28-yard line. Whitehead tries to find a seam. I don't think he got there. I think Wabash makes the stop. Drive over for DePauw. Turnover on downs.
Well, hey, look, this is a game of ebbs and flows. Both players on both sides need to know things are going to happen against you, and it's all on you to respond. We've seen this game many times where it comes down to momentum, and the snowball rolls, and it gets bigger, and a team can get rolled that way. And so, here's a momentum shift early in the game, and see how both teams respond.
Jerry McBee makes the tackle. McBee from his defensive end spot from the major metropolis of Freedom, Indiana. An Owen Valley Patriot makes the play. 1st and 10. Tyler. Well, looks like the defenses have been dialed up so far in this game, boys, because Wabash is not finding any luck in the running game so far.
No, that's Ethan Lowry again. We didn't mention his name, but he had the play on the 3rd down, the last drive, where he was able to get the running back in the backfield. Just grabbed him, slowed him down enough. Ethan Lowry is as good as maybe anybody in the country at the defensive end spot. Another experienced player for DePauw.
And Wabash has had 6 linemen in the game there, just made a switch, and now down to the normal 5 linemen, so really trying to get that running game going.
Lowry, one of those guys that seemingly has played forever. He is a senior for DePauw. 8 seniors on this defense. Hand off and nowhere to go. Another loss or no gain on the play, I should say. 3rd down and 11.
Well, one thing Wabash doesn't want to be in all day, and one thing DePauw wants Wabash to be in, are these 3rd and long situations.
This is the response you want to see, too, from your defense. DePauw's moving the ball on offense, and then to get shut down on 4th down like that, the defense coming out and responding so far.
It is a DePauw defense that only allowed one team to score more than 14 points all year. That was a win at Denison back in October, 53-34. 3rd down and 11. First passing attempt for the Little Giants. Throwing the deep ball, and it's going to be incomplete. Target that time was Cannon Chase, junior from Springs Valley. Excellent coverage provided by the Tigers, and punt team coming on for Wabash.
Yeah, that was well covered. Christian Trope out there in coverage in the secondary. And honestly, the best thing for Wabash might have been that ball was underthrown, because that might have been an interception if it was on target. Coverage was pretty tight.
Yeah, it looked like he was thinking about undercutting that and getting a pick. You're right, if it wouldn't have been a little low.
So Rucker on to punt for a 2nd time. So 2 3-and-outs so far for Wabash. In fact, they have netted 6 total yards on 6 offensive plays. Lengthy snap count here. Another good kick. Johnson will get out of the way, and this ball will take a pro Wabash roll down to the 34-yard line. We have had high-scoring games each of the last 3 years. Last year was 33-30. Last year really was a shootout in the first half, a defensive struggle in the second half. Right now, defense has been on point in both directions.
Yeah, I think it's, you look at the way these 2 teams have come into this game. Wabash has played 2 extremely close games, and they've won both of them. DePauw has played, let's just say, not very competitive football games the last couple of weeks, and so you worry about that lull from DePauw. The offense looked good on that first drive. Defense seems to be just fine, and Wabash coming out strong as well. I think that a slow start, you might have worried about that for DePauw, but they look good so far.
Yeah, frankly, Wabash played the other 2 best teams in the league the last 2 weeks, winning by a combined total of 4 points against Wittenberg and Denison. Out of the backfield, catch made by Whitehead. Whitehead able to get through 1 tackle. Great rally to the football by the Little Giants. Michael Hegwood, former Roncalli Royal, in to make the play.
Well, Michael Hegwood coming up making the tackle, but Sam Ringer's one who made that play, getting off the block and really slowing him up on the run, because there was a lot of green out here when that ball was in the air.
Yeah, if Ringer doesn't get in there, you're absolutely right, Steve. That's a 1st down and probably more.
Sam comes from a great football family. His younger brother, Mr. Football last year from East Central. Their season ended last night at Decatur Central. Here comes McCahill. Out in the flat, catch made, 1st down. Stepping out of bounds after making the grab, that is Leighton Lukowski, the former Carmel Greyhound. That is his 20th catch on the season, and good enough for a Tiger 1st down.
And that's one of the things that makes McCahill such a good and efficient passer. He's looking down the field, nothing open there. He knows he's got Lukowski. He just kind of opens a safety valve on the side. Good route combination on the top side of the field there for the 1st down.
13-yard pickup. third first down of the quarter for DePauw. And DePauw has scored 50 or more points already 7 times this season. Hand off to Whitehead. First down. Shucks a tackler, and he will pick up 17 yards. It's been yards in chunks so far in the early stages of this game.
Well, that first drive that the Wabash defense gave up was really typical of how our defenses have been this year. Our red zone defense has been pretty phenomenal, ranked in the top 20 in the country in red zone defense. And so see if the defense can start stepping it up a little bit here.
To your point, Steve, on 24 red zone drives, Little Giants have allowed just 12 touchdowns this year, a phenomenal ratio. Not in the red zone yet. Ball to 37. Handoff. That's second back through for DePauw. That is Seth Menser. And stop me if you've heard this before. Seth played his high school football at Cathedral High School.
Jeez. They just keep coming.
I live in that area. I can tell you, it is easy to get from the 56th Street area in Indianapolis to Greencastle. Nice quick drive this morning. Just for some strange reason, one lane of traffic around the airport on 465.
Well, that's been that way for a decade, it feels like. It never stops.
Second down and 8. Menser on the season. Does have a receiving touchdown, 243 yards rushing, and 2 scores that way as well. McCahill looks, throws, middle of the field, overthrows Quigley. Quigley, 39 catches and 10 touchdowns. Again, was a pretty versatile player at Carmel. They asked him to do some different things here at DePauw. McCahill just let him a bit too much. It's third down.
Yeah, it had to be a perfect pass. Quigley had maybe a half a step and just about a half yard too far for Quigley.
Cooper Jarvis was in coverage. Middle linebacker from Western High School in Rocheville. Third down. Wabash gets a stop here, Steve. It's been bend but not break for the Wabash defense so far. Blitz shown, blitz coming. McCahill, Lekowski, first down and more. 15, 10, 5, touchdown. No flags. 35 yards out. Lekowski to pay dirt, and the Tigers strike first.
DePauw's offense has been moving the ball on the ground through the air. Again, that's a great job by McCahill, looking downfield and then taking the shorter route underneath. Lekowski had plenty of room to run, made a couple of guys miss, and the Tigers score first.
Well, that showcases the talent they have on the outside that DePauw does, making that pass, and McCahill just making the right decisions today.
Matthew Berry is on for the extra point try for the Tigers. Took 10 minutes, but DePauw is on the board, and the extra point kick is good. We'll step aside. We're back in 60 seconds. Tigers 7, Little Giants nothing. It's the Monon Bell on ISC.
I felt like I became a totally different person at DePauw.
DePauw was really one of the first places that I had an opportunity to explore the arts, the sciences, economics.
DePauw gave me that chance to not only be a leader, but to teach leadership skills to other people.
And DePauw students are known for being well over-invested in their time and commitments, and yet somehow they find a way to do all of it. There's a hunger that we get that starts here.
Monon is pretty much the biggest game in D3.
And we always want to keep that bell, especially for the campus.
It comes down to tradition and brotherhood, playing for the guys that are to your left and to your right. The past history that we've had, over 100 years of other men that have played.
Let's go, Tigers! Let's go! Ah!
Let's go. Put up 6. Let's go.
Let's go!
So the first score of this game belongs to the DePauw Tigers. Let's talk about their defense. With more on the DePauw D, here is Kelsey Casper.
Yeah, guys, a ton of experience on this DePauw defense that leads all of Division III in total defense, holding teams to less to 180 yards per game. Coach Dietz telling me they also have a lot of experience playing in this game. Lots of Monon snaps on that side of the ball. It's highlighted by players like Luke Marsh, a senior who's been playing since he was a freshman, and also fifth-year captain Ethan Lowry, who his teammates lovingly called dad and even grandpa at times. Two names who I've already heard several times within with both having tackles in the opening possession, but guys like that who bring a lot of experience and leadership to the younger players in this program.
Kelsey, thank you very much. Brad, the importance of scoring first in this game means what?
Well, it means you're up 7-0. No, I'm just kidding. It's also, we talked about the momentum, though. I do think Brett Dietz was a bit worried about his team not playing very good football teams the last 2 weeks. And for DePauw to come out against a quality opponent like Wabash and play solid on defense and get those points, that's big for the Tigers.
To be blunt, no one has played DePauw that close. Again, their closest score this year was Denison on October the 19th, a 19-point win. Everything else has been blowouts, including a very impressive non-conference road victory at Barry of Georgia. 33-0 back in September, and that will be into the end zone. That will not be returned. And now, Steve, the question is, what can Wabash do to get on track offensively?
Well, you can see that we've thrown everything into the running game to try to get the running successful, even playing six offensive linemen on a few steps. Still haven't been able to get the ball going on the ground. Only one pass in the air so far, and that was an incomplete pass. So we'll see how much we really want to mix it up and go back to maybe some of our RPOs and some things like that to really spread it out.
Sometimes I like to just listen to the bell ring when I'm at this game. It's part of what makes this
really
so
does.
unique, just constant throughout the course of the game. Motion man is Connor Garrity. And again, the handoff to Tyler. And again, both sides knew what Wabash wanted to do. So far, the Little Giants have been able to execute it. That will be a gain of a yard on the play.
We talked about the game last year, too. Wabash coming in and just sticking to the game plan of running the ball. It absolutely worked out well. So I'm not surprised to see Coach Morrell really sticking with this strength. I think the passing options will be there. That could open up, but way too early to try to abandon what they do well on the ground.
Yeah, and he scripts the first 13 to 15 plays of the game. So he's just running through his script right now. He wants to see how DePauw adjusts and how they line up the specific formations.
Handoff goes to Tyler, and Tyler now does find a little bit of room. And by the way, I'll defer to Steve as the man that sees DePauw on a regular basis. Just correct, that is Tyler wearing 32 and not 22 in today's game, correct, for Wabash?
Yes.
So Tyler picks up 5 yards. It's one of those things I'm 99.9% sure of, but just wanted to make sure I had that right. Third down and 4.
I hadn't even noticed. That's why you're the professional.
Tell you what, he runs hard too, and so you want to punish some of those DePauw linebackers and defensive line. You keep making him hit a guy like Tyler. He is running the ball hard.
And again, Tyler has had his best games against Wabash's best competition. Had 199 yards last week. Third down and 4, pressure comes. Sack for DePauw. Luke Nolan makes the play.
And that's where it is tough for Wabash, when you get into a fairly obvious passing situation, and DePauw knows they can just let that D-line tee off on the quarterback.
Pressure was also applied by David Gould. And again, we've been saying these same names for DePauw for the last 3 and 4 years. I remember specifically 2 years ago, A, it was very snowy, and B, DePauw was dominant defensively with freshmen and sophomores. Yeah. Here they are as seniors.
Yeah, we did. We talked a lot about what that team could be a couple years down the road, and now we're seeing that with a lot of the senior experience.
So a third punt coming on here for Rucker. Carson Johnson back deep to return. Wynn knocks that one down a little bit. Catch made, and fair catch made at the 45-yard line. A 30-yard punt.
When we really haven't talked about the weather much. There is a decent wind going from south to north, from right to left on your screen, and you can see it affect the punt there. So that might make a little difference when you get down to field goal situations and the punting. Not so much on the passing, but in the kicking game.
Well, and we did see the one pass for Wabash fall short, and then the long pass for Quigley a bit long going with the wings. So, yeah, you're right, Steve. It's a bit of a factor already.
McCahill 4 of 5 for 55 yards so far, plus the touchdown to Lukowski. 54 yards rushing in total on 7 attempts, so nearly 8 yards a pop on the ground for DePauw. We'll ride it to Whitehead. Bounces it outside. Cuts it back inside. All in all, solid play by Wabash, gain of 4, second down.
Well, I got a lot out of not a whole lot there. It didn't look like on the snap, and he just always seems to be one of those running backs who's always going forward and getting that extra yard or two each carry.
Whitehead averaging 5.8 yards per carry. And he is a junior, so one more year left to go. Pretty potent out of the backfield, too. 16 catches on the season. As is often the case of this game, time tends to fly. 2 minutes left to go in the opening quarter. Again, the handoff to Whitehead. Finds a crevice and will pick up a first down. 8-yard pickup for Whitehead.
He's really just done a nice job in this first quarter of being patient, finding his holes, reading the backs of his blockers on the outside. Some of those receivers have done a nice job. This time, just look at the patience. Finds the hole, makes one move, and before you know it, wiggles his way and dives forward for 7-8 yards.
Let's give the guys credit up front. McCormick, Smith, Kerr, Watkins, Martin, and Will Castor, who had his star turn in last year's game for DePauw on that block. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Hand it to Whitehead. Whitehead tripped up after a gain of 5 yards. Tackle made by Jordan Cree, second down.
There was a good example there of Coach Gilbert, defensive coordinator, trying to take away the pass first. Sam Ringer, Sam linebacker, is actually all the way out here outside the hash on Quigley. Really trying to double him a little bit and take it away. But what that does, it gets somebody out of the box. He knew they might have some success running the ball. Like he said, we'll see how patient I am on staying with that game plan.
It's a really unique look to see out here,
yeah.
That Sam linebacker, yeah.
Handoff, Johnson. And Johnson should pick up 4. They may give him 4 progress. Oh, give him 5 first down. They'll move the chains again. First down, DePauw.
It looks like, Steve, what Coach Gilbert's trying to do is sort of balance back between that Sam moving and then the safety moving over late. So it's either a 2-high look when the safety moves over, or it's a 1-high kind of cover 3. And he's just trying to confuse McCahill as to which guy is going to move back.
That's right. Yeah, I know he wanted to throw off the cadence a little bit of his timing of getting the ball out. And he said, look, they have 2 really good receivers. We can't double both of them. And so what are we going to do? And so they're trying to get the corner and safety over Ballantyne, and then trying to get Ringer and boxing 1, if you will, in football on Quigley.
On the handoff, Johnson. And again, right now, DePauw is just getting 4 and 5 yards a pop and being happy with that, and that will be the end of quarter number 1. The Tigers, a top 10 ranked outfit. They look the part so far. In Monon Bell number 130, it is DePauw 7 and Wabash nothing. Back to Greencastle in 60 seconds. How about that view on the ISC Sports Network?
When I hear the word brotherhood, I immediately think of Wabash College.
Just that close, tight-knit community. For me personally, that's what I was looking for in a school. I know I kind of thrive better in those close communities just because you get more close relationships with people around.
The brotherhood really becomes apparent to me when I see students supporting each other in ways that I wouldn't anticipate. There's a sense of community above all else.
One of the things that makes this brotherhood so special is that you can really open up with those around you and form truly deep and meaningful connections.
If I'm sitting with my friend and if they ask me how I'm feeling, they mean it and they genuinely want to know if I'm struggling with something, if there's something that they can help with. Everyone is just there for each other, and I respect that a lot.
Our drone footage was such a hit last year. We absolutely had to bring it back. And again, this place looks resplendent. Obviously, both these campuses take so much pride every day in their schools, but especially on this day, knowing there is never a bigger stage than Bell Day in Crawfordsville or Greencastle.
That's right, and tickets this year went so fast on both sides of the ball. They might have been harder to get than a Taylor Swift Eras Tour ticket.
It's close. The fact those even in the conversation is impressive. 2nd and 5. 7 first downs for the Tigers, none for Wabash. Out in the flat, catch made. Interesting route combination there. Frankie Ricciardi makes the catch. Sophomore from Chicago. His 15th catch of the season. First down, Tigers in the red zone.
Yeah, you'll see this. Lukowski kind of running just a streak into the end zone, and then underneath, McCahill able to hit the shorter route. Nice throw. Good job staying in bounds, securing the ball, and making the catch.
And McCahill's touchdown toss earlier, his 40th of the season. 2nd in Division III. Only behind the starting quarterback from Illinois College, who has thrown 43 so far on the season. Handoff Whitehead. And again, you've heard this before, almost as constant as the bell in the background. 5-yard pickup DePauw, second down.
Yeah, this offensive line is just doing a great job of winning the line of scrimmage, and that's giving Whitehead the chance to be patient, find those holes, and really pick up, positive yardage every time he touches the football.
And again, looking at the first quarter stats, Valentine had 1 catch, and Quigley had 0 catches and only 1 target. So Coach Gilbert's plan of taking them out of the game is working. We'll see how long we can stay with this with DePauw running successfully.
The weaponry is varied for DePauw. There's a good play by Wabash defensively. Officially no gain. 3rd down and 5. Again, you're well within field goal range. I think DePauw would take the field goal here to make it a 2-score game, but they're thinking about a 1st down here from 5 yards away.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think you're getting the points. Now, if he gets within 4th and 1 or so, it might be a different story, but you don't want to drive down the field like this and come out with nothing.
Brody Fry, former Carmel Greyhound. Carmel resident on both sides in this game, makes the play. And both teams have been deliberate in terms of their pacing today. Play clock is at 5. There may be a timeout here. There will be. So if Brett Dietz takes a timeout, let's do the same. 13-17 to play in the first half. Tigers driving, leading 7-0. It's the Monon Bell Classic on ISC.
Before I was on campus, I was very nervous. I gotta make friends and my teacher's gonna be nice. But now that I'm here, all my fears have washed away and I'm more excited to learn than I have been in a while.
And that's one of the things I think that DePauw does incredibly well. It provides an opportunity for individuals to find their place in the world. And that's something that the university provides everyone who comes here.
It's never the last time you're at DePauw. You'll always be back, and I know that I'm coming back for these people and these places and these memories that I have.
You get this really close interaction, not only with the professor, you also get a connection with the other students.
It holds you accountable. You stay on top of your work and you show up to class, you put in the effort.
You're never gonna have a day where you're like, oh, I think I can get away with maybe not talking so much or maybe not doing this reading. There's really no option for that at Wabash because your professors know exactly who you are and they know exactly how to push you to make sure you're pushing yourself.
Back to action. Greg Rakestraw, Steve Hoffman, Brad Walker, Mirka, Kelsey Casper with you on the ISC Sports Network. The 4th year we have had the honor of producing this Monon Bell telecast. One of our highlights of our year at ISC. 3rd down and 5. Blitz coming. McCahill throws. End zone receiver slips.
Yeah, that was open. If Quigley gets out of that cut, that was a pretty well-thrown ball on that corner route, so they had that. That's a really big stop for Wabash right here to force a field goal. You mentioned how good that red zone defense is, and there it shows.
And there you go, Sam Ringer on Quigley trying to take him out of the game and just making that a tough pass.
So here is Matthew Berry. Berry handles the extra points. He handles kind of the shorter field goals. Gomez is their longer kicker of the two. Berry has been nearly automatic, 7 of 8. 36 is his long. Holder is Dominic Turner. And the snapper is Holt Hildebrand. And this kick is no good. Pulled wide left. Steve, it's a 1-score game.
There's that red zone defense. That's what this game comes down to, are big plays like that, right? So now here we go. You get a momentum needle if you do, and it's now swung toward Wabash a little bit on the stop. Even though DePauw drove all the way down the field, get a little bit of momentum going on the red side.
Right now the yardage difference is 86-6 in favor of DePauw. As you can tell, it's much closer on the scoreboard. Still a 1-score game. By the way, Xavier Tyler is wearing number 32 because the 22 jersey is no more. It was apparently torn to shreds on the opening drive. Didn't know tearaway jerseys were still a thing. So hence a different number, but not much of a different result. Again, the front stout for DePauw, a 1-yard pickup.
That might have been that 3rd down play where Lowry, I think, grabbed him by the jersey and basically made the tackle. And I think that was probably the end of that jersey for him.
Steve, what is plan B offensively for Wabash if Tyler can't get going?
Well, like I said, I think you got to try to get the DePauw defense on their heels a little bit. Right now, they're just lining up, and what's tough about watching this game is when they're stopping the run, they're like 3 or 4 people stopping the run. It's not like one guy missing a block.
Looking for an opening and found it, first down. Catch made by Wabash. That is Tim Miller on the grab, and that is the first down of the game for the Little Giants, a pickup of 13.
Miller did a good job of just finding the seam here, but this line, this is all on the offensive line. Look at all the time they're given to allow this window to open for the completion.
And it was an NFL window. In other words, it was tiny. Yeah. There was not much room there.
Yeah,
Great
and if he wouldn't have thrown it behind him, it may have been picked.
Campbell, again, a 70+% completion percentage on the season. Handoff, and this is the backup in terms of the running back position. He's also the backup punter. Cole Dickerson, a freshman, gets the carry and picks up a solid gain of 5.
Cole has opened some eyes this year for Wabash fans. If you've been watching, when he gets in the game, he does not get a lot of carries during the game, but when he does, he has a running style that hopefully we'll see some today when he gets in the open field. It's just really smooth and in control.
From Lancaster, Ohio, 46 carries, 316 yards, and 5 touchdowns on the season. Tyler back in for this play. Little play action. Here comes pressure. Able to avoid it for a moment, but Joey Rowland finishes the deal. The former Greenfield Central Cougar. It's a loss of 6. It's 3rd and 11.
Luke Nolan, the initial pressure, got in there and just about had the sack before Rowland able to clean it up. Good job getting around that block. The DePauw pass rush has been pretty solid so far in this first half.
Second sack for the Tigers. And you mentioned it, Nolan got there first. Rowland, 20 tackles on the year. And again, DePauw has been so good defensively. Their tackle numbers aren't huge because they're not on the field. Fake the counter on 3rd down and 11. Looking for the deep ball, and they go to the intermediate route instead and just threw it behind Connor Thompson. And yes, there is still a Thompson playing very well for Wabash this year. 46 catches, couldn't make that one.
That's a sprint draw play that Coach Merrill started running a few weeks ago. It's a big sprint draw is a big play for us on 3rd down. Tried to hit it deep, not quite open, but I do think you could have got Connor on the crossing route for the first down.
Yeah, it was tough for the sophomore to make that throw across his body. So Rucker on for his 4th punt of the game. DePauw has moved the ball all 3 drives they've had it. They've converted just once. Another solid kick. Fair catch called for, 30-yard line. And that'll be a punt of 37 yards with no return.
Well, for DePauw, I mean, you got to be disappointed in missing that field goal. But like you said, Greg, they've been moving the ball every time they've had it. So really nothing changes here. You've got everything at your disposal right now for the Tigers, the way they've been running the ball and the way they've been effective throwing it too.
Credit the Wabash defense. The fewest points that DePauw has scored in a game this year was 33. So I think Jake Gilbert's going to feel that his defense have done what they've been asked to so far.
Look, you're coming in with those ostentatious numbers from Quigley and Ballantyne, and he just wanted to take that away from him and see what else DePauw can do, because you know they can beat you. They beat everybody this year.
I'm not sure I've ever heard Steve use his Wabash education more than dropping ostentatious on the description.
I just hope it fit.
No, you nailed it. You're absolutely spot on. Catch made by DePauw. That is Lukowski, and he'll pick up 12 yards and a first down.
And, you know, to your point, Steve, taking away Quigley and Ballantyne, these other receivers have done a nice job of stepping up. That's putting a lot of pressure on guys that don't touch the ball quite as much, and Lukowski especially has had a nice first half.
Lukowski, his 3rd catch for McCahill. It is his 6th completion. 6 of 8 with a touchdown.
Well, yeah, Lukowski's loving it right now, right? All the attention on 84 and 13. I'm going to be open.
6-man box here for Wabash. On the handoff, Whitehead. Again, all close quickly. If you're Wabash, you'll settle for 4 yards every time. A little extra that time as a Wabash defender went flying, and Owen Volk.
You talk about Lukowski, one of the things that's really given him an opportunity was the early season injury to Jalen Smith, the senior wide receiver, who's really, really talented. I mean, it's scary to think how good this offense would be with him. He started since he was a freshman, has gaudy numbers himself. A small chance he may be able to come back in the playoffs. He's working to rehab that injury, but it's really given Lukowski a chance to have multiple weeks to get ready for big games like this.
And yes, DePauw can play long enough where that can be a possibility. That's how good this DePauw team is. Handoff, Whitehead. Great job to keep the feet going and just find a hole. because frankly, there was nothing there, and he picked up 5 yards.
Now this changes the the dynamic here on third down. Now you got 3rd and a yard. That could have been 3rd and 4 or 5.
Love the all 22 shot. Does referee Steve Hoffman or Wabash alum Steve Hoffman think that might have been a hold there at the line of scrimmage?
I didn't get a good look at the replay, but I'll just say yes, it might have been a hold.
Okay, that was the Wabash part of it, not the referee part of it.
Yes, right.
3rd and a yard. And there goes Whitehead, right down the middle, wrapped up inside of the 25-yard line. Avery Epstein makes the touchdown-saving tackle, but there's the first big pop in the running game for DePauw.
And that's what you worry about sometimes on 3rd and 4th and short. Everyone kind of crowding the line, one seam, leaves a lot of room in that secondary. And I think Whitehead maybe could have kept going and accelerated and got even more yards. Might have slowed down just a bit early, but what a great run, and again, solid block.
Exactly. I thought he was taking it straight down the middle of the end zone, and he thought he was going to get caught. I'm not sure he would have, but
that replay angle there made it look like it was a pretty good angle for the defense.
The graphic tells the story. 10 first downs for DePauw, just 1 for Wabash. And every DePauw drive has gone deep into Wabash territory. Catch made. Able to shuck the tackle. Roman is Ballantyne. It'll be just shy of the first down marker. His second grab and a gain of 8 yards.
That's just a timing route. Quick out, pitch and catch. Nice throw. Perfectly timed. Ballantyne gets his head around, gets the ball, and able to get 7, 8 yards.
17 touchdowns for Ballantyne, just a junior. Approaching 60 catches on the season. Rolling pocket right side again, Lukowski to the 5 and all the way down to the 2. Lukowski taking advantage of the opportunity. His 4th catch in the opening half.
And there's so much attention being paid to Ballantyne and Quigley. That time it was to Quigley. No, what's the 3rd or 4th time we've seen Lukowski just wide open standing on the sideline because the defense is working with Ballantyne in the end zone. Sorry, with Quigley.
You got to pick your poison if you're the Wabash defense, and McCahill is taking advantage of something you hear like every NFL coach say in every press conference ever. Take advantage of what the defense gives you. Whitehead, the setback. 1st and goal, 2-yard line. Handoff, tripped up, won't get there. Back to the line of scrimmage and no more. 2nd and goal.
Well, the 3 things that Coach Gilbert emphasizes on defense, this is all year long, are explosive plays. Done a pretty good job today on that. A big run there. Takeaways. And then on red zone defense. And the red zone defense has been shown this year to really make a difference. So now this is a tough one. 1st and goal from the 2. We'll see what happens.
Same formation, double tight here for DePauw. Fake the handoff, pass is tipped, intercepted, picked off. Wabash gets the stand yet again.
Hey, right on cue. We just talked about Coach Gilbert's things. One of them was takeaways, and the other one was red zone defense. So take care of 2 of them right there on that big stop by the Wabash D.
For Wabash, their 21st takeaway of the season. But for McCahill, Brad, just his 3rd pick of the year.
Yeah, I mean, obviously a very efficient passer, and that's just a great play by the Wabash defense. Not only get hands on the ball, but to stay with it and get the pick. You wonder there, 2nd and goal, you're having success running the ball. If maybe that's what you would have done, you probably had 3 more opportunities from the 2-yard line to punch it in. But hey, this is a quarterback that doesn't turn the ball over much, so can't blame him for going for it.
Holsclaw gets his 4th pick of the season. Epstein got his hands on it. And Tyler spins away to get a couple, and I'm pretty sure that in every broadcast we do together, Steve, I have some opportunity to go, hey, let's talk about the crazy connection between the Bolles School in Jacksonville, Florida, and Wabash College, and that is where Epstein is an alumnus of.
Yeah, how about that? Just another one. I believe he may be the last in that little string we had coming from the Bolles School, but I might need to look a little deeper into the roster to find that.
Brand Campbell is starting a new trend. The quarterback is from Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. A 2nd and long. On the give, different back, same result.
Well,
3rd and long.
Interesting note, too, on the Bolles School. Bill Wagner, the SID here at DePauw, was telling me that Matthew Berry, the DePauw kicker, also from the Bolles School, Epstein was his holder at the Bolles School there. So an interesting connection between the 2 schools.
So brother versus brother happens in North Florida in this game, not just guys who were high school teammates in Central Indiana. 3rd and long. Well, it's notes like that where our good friends Bill Wagner of DePauw and Brent Harris of Wabash are so outstanding at what they do, and they make our job easy in broadcasting this game every year. Play clock is at 3. DePauw brings just 3, but they get pressure. Campbell slings it. What a throw, first down. Pushed back now. Because the receiver kind of squared back up, where are they going to mark him? Are they going to say forward progress? No. They're going to say because he kind of reestablished, that means he's shy of the first down marker. 4th down.
I'm going to defer to Steve on this. That's a right
yeah, it's tough. It is right. He disengaged. So really, if you're a defender, that's really a good play. Not that he thought about doing that. You just push him back instead of making the tackle. He disengaged. Now you got forward progress again reestablished. So,
and it's
I think it's the right spot.
That's Nick Whitty that made the catch. He is a freshman from LaPel.
That's so hard as a football player. Yeah, it's just so hard. Your instinct is just to keep going. You're not out of bounds. You want to keep doing it, but he would have been better served just running right straight out of bounds. That would have been a first down on the forward progress.
And again, because he reestablished kind of after contact, Steve said the absolute proper wording. And for those who don't know, Steve is a tremendous high school official referee in the state of Indiana, so we always joke he's our Troy Aikman and he's our Mike Pereira on the broadcast. And because the receiver reestablished position, goes back to where that happened. So wipe away the first down. 4th down, punt unit comes on yet again for Wabash. And they bring the house, don't get there. Fair catch called for, and in that scenario, punting from your end zone, get the other 49 is outstanding. There is a flag down on the play. And this may even back up DePauw maybe even a bit further. Could be a hold there.
Yeah, you can see the wind, I think, playing an advantage here, definitely helping the punts for Wabash in the second quarter. The first quarter, some pretty short punts into that wind, some nice kicks, and against the pressure there, too, that time.
Yeah, and we still got a football game that the entire game has been played in the Wabash half of the field.
During the return, number 14, it's a 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. First down.
Coaches, I know, always stress about playing mistake-free football. Guys, we are 25 minutes in. That's the first penalty of the game. That kind of describes 17-1 to a T, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. I mean, two very disciplined, well-coached football teams. So this game's also moving fast, too, so that helps. But, yeah, first penalty, you normally see it a lot other than that.
Again, your eyeballs would tell you this, but let me throw some numbers at you. The total yards is 120 to 5 in this game. Yet, it is a one-score game.
It's those things that make you nervous as a coach, leaving the door open, right? You miss a field goal, you turn it over, 2nd and goal inside the 5. So that door is open for Wabash.
On the handoff, Whitehead. They'll be limited to 1 on the play. Let me even break it down further for you. Yards per play so far. DePauw, 7.6 yards per play. Wabash, 1.5.
This is it, and I think this might be the biggest series of the first half right here, because DePauw gets the ball to start the second half. So if they can march down and get points of any kind and then get the ball to start the second half, that's huge. On the other hand, Wabash, if they can get a stop here, potentially get some points, but at least keep DePauw off the scoreboard, that's going to be really big for them in keeping the game close.
A 2nd down and 9. Whitehead finds a little bit of a seam. He'll get 2, maybe 3, but it sets up 3rd down and 5. By the way, that 120 to 5 number was the rushing yards. Total yards, 223 to 26 so far is the breakdown in terms of total yards. 3rd down and 5. And as Brad alluded to, this game is flying, Steve. We got 3 minutes left to go before halftime.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, one part of that is, too, Wabash is putting the ball on the ground over and over and over.
McCahill, quarterback draw. That looked planned. That looks good from the DePauw perspective. First down, still going. Epstein brings him down at the 30-yard line, and McCahill just tied his longest run of the season of 25 yards.
If you walk through a quarterback draw, literally just half go, this is how you would draw it up. Perfect patience, opening the line, the running back with a great block down the field to spring him for more. That's exactly how you want to run that play.
Yeah, that was well designed. That was a good coach-up play. I think you and I could have got maybe 3 yards out of that, Brad.
Yeah, I might
maybe
have fallen
3.
forward for 3.5. We'll say.
Yeah.
We're tall.
then we'd have come out. We would not have been in for the next play.
No, that's one carry for the game.
Whitehead. Again, just patiently waits for his blocks. Pinballs around. Half the Wabash defense will pick up 2. And now, I was going to say, we may start to see some timeouts being taken here. And that will be the case because we have hit the 2-minute timeout. So let's take a timeout. 7-0 DePauw leads with 2 minutes left to go before halftime as you're watching 130th Monon Bell Classic on the ISC Sports Network.
Being a Division III athlete, I can be an athlete and still have very strong academics, especially here at Wabash.
Professors here are super supportive of the athletic work that we do. That's a really great way that Wabash supports its student athletes.
I love being a Division III athlete. I have a tremendous amount of work being a biochemistry major, and I can still flip the switch, go to practice, play the sport that I love, and you can do both.
Our students have a gold standard academic experience driven by faculty who know and care about each one of them.
We're fostering new ways of seeing and thinking, equipping students with a creative method that can be applied liberally to challenges in society, science, business, technology, and beyond.
The fact that a student might do a co-curricular program like Management Fellows whilst pursuing a major in the creative school whilst doing a minor in liberal arts is something you just wouldn't find at another institution.
The 2nd down and 8. By the way, you just saw the first 2-minute timeout in Monon Bell Classic history.
Yeah, we're just setting all kinds of history.
Not as momentous as last year's first overtime game,
No.
but worth noting.
Yeah, I've covered this season for Wabash, and we're in the 10th game, and it surprised me
here.
every game. I'm like, why are we stopping the clock? Oh, yeah.
In my mind, like, I've got one more break to get in. Oh, yeah, 2-minute warning.
Exactly.
There we
The
go.
only thing that stopped the clock so far this first half.
Yeah, exactly.
2nd down and 8. On the fake, the throw, seam route is there. Quickly, touchdown. Touchdown, Tigers from 28 yards out, and now it's a 2-score game.
Well, you knew you wouldn't keep Quigley, quiet that long, and that was a well-run route, perfectly thrown ball, wide open across the middle of the field. He's just a big target for McKay Hill.
And again, we have the all-22 camera here, but we could see it from our elevated angle in the press box. The way that play was designed, the middle of the field, lots of real estate, as you can see here on the replay.
And the play fake, too, that sucks the linebackers in. The offensive line doing a great job of giving McKay Hill plenty of time. That's a great pitch and catch for the score.
Extra point try is good. So 14-0, Steve. Now how does the dynamic of this game change with it being a 2-score deficit for the Little Giants?
Yeah, I mean, normally I would say it's still early. Let's just keep playing the game. But like we all talked about, we're almost to halftime already. So you're almost half of the game gone. You need to get something going on offense, obviously. So really just got to open it up a little bit and try to let Brand Campbell maybe do some more things. Look, Brand Campbell's been really efficient too. He has 17 touchdowns, totaling 1 interception on the year, which is also gaudy numbers. And so we'll see if they can put the game in his hands a little bit.
17 total plays so far for Wabash offensively, literally doubled by DePauw. And of those 17 plays, 4 of them have been passing plays for Wabash.
I mean, you kind of have to open it up if you're Wabash here. You've got all your timeouts because DePauw gets the ball to start the second half. Conversely, if Wabash comes out and doesn't pick up a first down, they could be in real trouble if they get the ball back to DePauw and a chance to score.
Yeah, and the other thing is only 17 plays that Wabash was run in the first half, and we said Coach Morrell scripts many of those, so he's really now getting into his decision-making, and we're almost halftime.
And fair catch is made. So Wabash so far has returned a kick, and fair caught the other 2. As you can see, both teams have a full complement of 3 timeouts left to use.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see here under 2 minutes. See what Wabash tries to do, because we do have some good weapons on the outside. They've had some good years. Cannon Chase has really come on this year, especially late in the season, number 6. And Connor Thompson has just been one of the better receivers for several years, number 13. Keep an eye on those guys.
Dickerson will be the setback here. Campbell looks to throw. Out in the flat, catch made. Won't be a first down, but a solid pickup. Again, that is Connor Thompson, carrying on the family legacy from North Central. His first catch of this game, 47th catch of the season, has 8 touchdowns.
That's exactly what you need to do. Just, something simple, get you out of bounds, or maybe move the sticks to stop the clock as well. You have to open it up here again. You need a first down or two to keep the ball out of DePauw's hands for the rest of the half.
And a whistle here. Not sure if there might be a timing issue. Let's listen in.
Yeah, I think what happened was they went out of bounds. I think that the clock keeper for DePauw ran it on the whistle, thinking it was maybe a first down, and they changed the move.
Well, they do that, except for the last 2 minutes.
Has a chance to run for this one, and he will. First down. Takes a pretty good pop at the end of that play. Does Campbell. That hit applied by Jonathan Bruder. One of these many senior defenders, Bruder. 54 tackles on the season coming in.
We had a little heady play there by Brian Campbell. Nothing open. He knew we only had a yard to get for the first down and decided to get it and get out of bounds, stop the clock at the same time.
Just the second first down of the game for Wabash. Campbell steps up, throws, catch made, first down. That's Garrity to the 35-yard line, still going, down to the 32. The tight end with the grab and a much-needed big play for the Little Giants.
Well, Brandon Campbell really showed some toughness in staying in that pocket, especially being sacked twice in the first half already today. He waited and waited and waited until somebody came open, because I was up here thinking, get rid of the ball.
That's a 32-yard completion. That almost doubles what the passing total had been until that catch. First time the Little Giants have crossed the 50. Catch made and going to be tackled inbounds. Again, Wabash has timeouts if they need them. Thompson makes the grab, his second of the drive. That'll be a gain of 5 yards.
5 yards may or may not be worth the time that it took to stay in bounds, but you got to get some yards, especially if you want to get some points on the board through our kicker.
Rutgers' long is 39 on the season. Tigers bring just 3. Catch made over the middle, first down. Now you're in field goal range at the 16-yard line. And a timeout will be taken by Wabash with 38 seconds left to go. And the first, Steve, bit of momentum all day on offense for the Little Giants.
It's funny, isn't it? I mean, we watch this game, and the Wabash offense hasn't been able to do anything, and now just going right down the field. And we said you wanted to put it in Brandon Campbell's hands a little bit, literally his arm, and he's taking right down the field on some good throwing. Hey, that was a great catch by a tight end, by a big guy to go low and get that on the run. And you were a receiver, Brad. You know how tough those catches are.
No, that's a very difficult one and a great play. And, if you're Wabash, you look at this, regardless of the outcome of this drive, maybe you found something here for the second half, whether it's throwing the ball a little bit more, hurry up. You've got DePauw's defense, 2-minute drill, a little bit of disarray, so sometimes that could be misleading, but you've got to feel good, regardless of the outcome, about moving the ball like this as you head to the second half.
While we have the opportunity to thank our tremendous ISC Sports Network crew, this is one of the biggest productions we do every year. Thank you, Vince Morales, Rob Lynch, Brian Pierce, Buzz Alarkin, everybody else that's involved. We'll give you the full crew rundown at some point in time during the course of our broadcast, but job well done, gentlemen, to this point. First down, Little Giants inside the 20. Throw, end zone, knocked away. What a hit. What timing for DePauw for Matthew Coons.
It looked like Coons for a minute might have been beat, but he also was just kind of sitting there waiting to time that up. Risky, but he timed it perfect and made the play.
Cannon Chase. That's an old Night Train Lane hang 'em high hit that time from Coons.
He really just kind of sat out there. We'll see if we can see it here. He was sitting there for just a second and then came over at the last minute to make a really good play.
Kids, ask your grandpa who Night Train Lane was. Really good. Back when the Lions were good the last time. Second and 10. Throwing, end zone, touchdown. Wabash is on the board. Thompson with the grab. Ball game on here at Blackstock.
Well, such a start, such a first half of a Monon Bell game. to see one team dominating in yards until the last drive of the half, and then the other team, Wabash decides to put down together a drive. Brandon Campbell, what a drive he had there.
In talking with the Wabash folks, knowing the way the schedule worked out after the game against Platteville, he was kind of able to grow into it, playing the back half of the NCAC. This game, same way, kind of grew into the role. But Campbell delivers, gets the touchdown. Thompson with the grab. For Thompson, his 9th receiving touchdown. For Campbell, his 18th passing touchdown. Game on at Greencastle. It's now 14-7.
Just huge for Wabash to move the ball like that in a short amount of time, and it really looked good on the rollout play. You saw that the receiver underneath kind of took 2 defenders with him, and that left the safety really chasing to try to get that corner out. He just couldn't make up the ground.
Yeah, the other thing Wabash was able to do there that's really helped us protect Brand, because there were a couple times he gave himself some time. Now, on that touchdown, we got him out of the pocket a little bit, got him out in the open. He's pretty good doing that, going either direction and throwing across his body or with his body, whatever he needs to do. He's really shown the ability and the athletic ability to do that. But, hey, look, we got a potent offense here getting the ball with 30 seconds to go.
Both teams now with 2 timeouts remaining. And again, Brad, I think Steve was alluding to this. I don't think DePauw is going to sit on it here.
No, we'll see what happens here with this kickoff. And, that Wabash has the win, so could boot this one pretty deep, potentially a fair catch. So no time, though, comes off the clock if you're DePauw. But I would be surprised if they just sit on this, even though they get the ball to start the second half.
4 first downs on that drive for the Little Giants. Now Campbell 7 of 10 for 94 yards and a touchdown, and this one will be returned by DePauw. It's Carson Johnson, has a seam, flag is thrown. Flag is thrown behind the play. What is a return to the 40? Likely won't have a drive start there. Flag comes in at the end of the play.
Well, it looks like it's going to be there's another one.
There's
back
2,
at the
correct.
25.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
That one will be a big one. I was going to say the one out here wouldn't have made that much difference.
Well, also what that does on the return, though, is that takes about 7 seconds off the clock. So DePauw now has 23.3 seconds to work with.
That's what I was thinking, Greg. I don't love, yes, it was a nice return, and we'll see what the penalty is, but I don't love letting clock go there. I think letting that ball go or a fair catch, giving yourself a full 30 seconds probably would have been a better choice.
Yeah, especially with the DePauw offense and how explosive they are.
That second flag came in really, really late after the play. I don't know if that's what they're discussing.
Well, that's a good point, Brad. We're assuming that's a hold, but if that one came in late, then it could be something after the play. It could be on either team. That's a coin toss there.
Good look from our field level angle. And now we'll get the explanation.
Fouls on the play. Both fouls are blindside blocks against DePauw. The penalty will be enforced from the foul that happened furthest back at the 25-yard line, half the distance to the goal, first down.
And with that, that might determine it for DePauw that, you know what, let's just take a 7-point lead to halftime and hit the reset button.
Yeah, I think so. You start to get that bad momentum too. You give up that drive, the touchdown, now 2 penalties on the kick return. Just has that ugly feeling of, let's go to the locker room maybe, come out, regroup, get the ball.
The last 3 games these teams have played have been more of the shootout variety. 42-35, one was one-sided, 49-14 in the snow. Last year's epic in double overtime. This game kind of resembles some previous games. 17-13 here, victory formation. And McCahill will simply take the knee. I don't think either side's going to take a timeout. Coach Dietz will clap his hands together, and DePauw head to the locker room with a 1-touchdown lead, and they'll have the ball to start quarter number 3. We will hear from both head coaches. We'll hear from Coach Dietz first. We'll also tell you more about these 2 wonderful institutions. And we'll tell you about, something that is being filmed as part of this game, a series called The Rivalries. Plus, we'll have first half highlights and stats all coming up in the next 20 minutes on this sunny, breezy, and cool day here in Putnam County. Our score at the break, 14-7. Brad, quick thoughts on the DePauw effort the first 30 minutes.
Well, I mean, it was great for about 28, and then, that's a real back-breaking drive that DePauw defense gave up to Wabash. But you think about the offense for DePauw, they were able to do everything. Run the ball, pass the ball, the turnover inside your 5, you miss a field goal. This could have been a lot worse for Wabash. So I think that's the message from Coach Dietz. We're doing everything we wanted to do. Let's just keep the mistakes to a minimum. We'll be fine in the second half.
I'll give you the chance to have the Wabash rebuttal, so to speak, in a matter of moments. But Kelsey Casper is standing by with Coach Dietz.
Coach, I know you guys just gave up that touchdown, but before that possession, your defense only giving up 1 first down that entire half. What impressed you about the way they started this game?
We knew they were going to try to run the ball, and we shut that down. So now we know they may be one more sided on the other side, and they proved that they can throw it too. So now we got a football game.
And your offense saw a missed field goal, a red zone interception, but then bounced back to find the end zone. How do you like the way your offense fought that adversity to finish strong?
I mean, we have no problem moving the ball so far, so we got to make sure we can maintain that. We really pride ourselves on being momentum-proof, so this will be a great test for our football team to see if we're momentum-proof here.
Appreciate it, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kelsey, thank you very much. We'll hear from Don Morrell coming up at the end of halftime. You see the Wabash student section. Steve, quick thoughts on the way that Wabash displayed those 3 famous words. Wabash always fights. They did in the final 2 minutes of the half.
Well, certainly did, and it'd feel quite different going into this half if Wabash wouldn't have put together and pieced together that last scoring drive, because our offense had nothing going up until that time. So interesting to hear Coach Dietz talk about them being momentum-proof, because we've talked about this game is really swing back and forth momentums, and the teams that survive that and respond the best are the teams that usually come out on top. So it's going to be a fun second half, guys.
Greencastle's never looked better in the month of November than it does today. All right, Steve and Brad get to take a little bit of a break. Let's tell you more about these 2 wonderful institutions. Let's start with the home team. Here's more on DePauw University.
Rivalry. Let's go, Tigers! It's what drives us,
pushes us,
makes us strive for greatness. At DePauw University, we embrace challenges both on and off the field.
We excel in academics,
athletics,
and beyond.
We rise to every challenge together.
On the field,
in the classroom,
and in our community.
The Monon Bell game is more than a rivalry.
It's a celebration of hard work,
dedication,
and the relentless pursuit of victory.
It's about tradition.
It's about family.
It's about being part of something bigger.
At DePauw, rivalry fuels our ambition.
Let's go! Because we know every challenge makes us stronger.
Every play, every moment, every cheer echoes commitment to being our best.
Victory is earned.
Respect is given. We play for both. Our rivalry with Wabash isn't just about the game. It's about preparing for success in all areas of life.
Over 100 years of other men that have played. It's not just about the game. It comes down to tradition and brotherhood.
Being able to build your own legacy with your class.
We always want to keep that bell, especially for the campus.
Catch made, touchdown, ball game, DePauw will win. Let's go Tigers!
Driven by rivalry.
Defined by excellence.
DePauw University.
Again, back at Black Sox Stadium at halftime, our score, DePauw 14, Wabash 7. That was more on the home school in DePauw University. Let's say about the team that made the 27-mile trip down US 231. That would be Wabash College. Here is more on that great institution of higher learning.
I don't think I've ever learned so much in the course of 10 days in my life.
That was like, how is anything going to beat this experience?
It definitely takes your breath away. That Wabash is able to provide that for us, that's huge.
Immersion learning is a place where we can extend the classroom globally, where we can take what we normally encounter on the page or on the screen and see it up close, in depth, and face to face.
You get to experience the professors who go on the trip with you kind of in their element because they were able to point stuff out that they had studied for multiple years.
My favorite teaching is to be standing in a half foot of water, to be able to say, well, what you just saw was this. You're in the entire classroom and all the time.
And that just exponentially increases like how much you're taking in. We were always learning. Dr. Wetzel's great at that too. He always takes a chance to pull an educational moment out of something.
When they're on a bus or a subway, when they're walking through a striking town square, these are all opportunities to be challenged and have Wabash students think differently about themselves and their place in the world.
We were able to have an educational spring break, but at the same time have a lot of fun. And I love learning that way. I could just continue learning all week long. It's just a good environment to kind of get to know each other.
That was one of the coolest aspects for me of the trip too. It wasn't just like what we saw and what we were able to learn, but to be able to build those relationships, which is another big aspect of Wabash, right?
They are getting more out of the class, more out of their education.
From Costa Rica to Kenya, from Iceland to Italy, from Poland to China. All a student needs is a passport and to pay for his own food on the ground. And if he can't afford that, we've got funds to help out. Professors are careful to select the students who are going to benefit the most from these experiences.
For me personally, the immersion experience was the first time that I had ever flown on a plane before. So definitely a really life-changing experience. First time I'd ever been out of the country. And here I am in a train station at Rome. We're walking down streets where I can see an ancient temple.
At Wabash, we believe that a well-rounded student is engaged with the world. And immersion learning strengthens that connection.
Being able to do that is something I'm never going to forget.
I definitely feel much more connected to the world overall.
Definitely take the course. It's one of those experiences that you would definitely never forget.
It's a little bit breezy, a little bit chilly, but you know what? The sun is out, and there's about a half foot less snow than the last time we were at Black Sox Stadium for the Monon Bell Classic. It's Monon Bell Classic 130 at the break. DePauw leading Wabash by a score of 14-7. A special guest is now joining us high atop the press box here at DePauw University, Louis Giagrande, who is the Chief Marketing Officer for LG Electronics USA. Louis, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
The reason that we have you here, we've got plenty of cameras here for our broadcast on ISC, but there's other ones that you will see as part of our broadcast today, and that is part of a series called the Rivalries that these two schools certainly are a great part of. So simply put, to start the conversation, tell us about the Rivalries, and let's take it from here.
Great. So, we're LG, and we really love to champion and celebrate people who make life good, and who makes life good for us on game days, but the college athletes, right? So when we started working with the NCAA, we said, what can we do to really showcase the fruits of these students, athletes, and the hard work they put in? Because these guys, they put in just as much work as a D1 athlete, just as much work as sometimes the pro athletes, and there's no big payday waiting for them at the end of this, right? They're doing it for the love of the game. So we said, why don't we create a channel that we could put on LG TV, all our smart TVs, free for anyone who wants it, that can showcase all college sports. So D1, D2, D3, more than just the sports you're used to, rowing, volleyball, everything. And really, it gives all student athletes an opportunity, to showcase the fruits of their labor. And then, I'm sorry to cut you off, but naturally, once we had that channel, we're like, it'd be even better if we went one step further and showed the stories, behind some of these programs, and that's where Rivalries came up.
I know you've been like double-digit campuses across the country as part of this series.
Yeah.
What is unique about the one you're on right now and the game that you're seeing being played currently?
Well, I'll tell you what's the first thing is that this is the oldest rivalry that we've done. This is going to be our 18th episode, and it's kind of shocking it took us this long to get to this rivalry, because once my team brought it to me, I was like, this is a natural. This could have been one to kick it off. I was trying to explain to my kids how long this has been going on, and I told them we didn't even have 50 states when this. I think we had like 45 states when this rivalry started. So so this has been fantastic, and the community's been so good. And it's just I love reading the stories and listening to people about how far back it goes and how it's so rooted in the community.
What sort of reception has the series gotten? Critical acclaim awards, etc.
Yeah, we've it wasn't even something we were thinking about at first, but since its launch, we've gotten over 10 industry awards. It's been so well received, and I'm really proud of my team for what they've put together. But really, these stories come to life because the communities welcome us in and give us an opportunity to see behind the scenes, like what goes into it, how much it means, and how important it is to those communities. So, in sports rivalries, it's such a great story. It's something you could relate to. No matter what sport you like, what it is, that those deep traditional rivalries is such a great story.
And again, we think the viewership of this one's going to be through the roof because having been around this rivalry, I know how passionate. I know what this means. There are watch parties internationally that are literally watching this conversation right now. But in terms of previous episodes, is there really one that maybe has kind of stood out in terms of viewership for you?
We had one that was with Harvard and Dartmouth where we did the women's rugby matchup there, which was really well received. But all of them, it's like we could weigh it by viewership, but I like to look at it as how important it is to the community is that we have something's documenting it. I mean, they have a lot of ways that they could document, but by bringing this to life and putting it on the channels, now we're sort of broadcasting this rivalry to the whole to the whole nation.
So now the most important and final question of our conversation. When can fans see the episode that you are literally producing as we speak? What is the best way to go about it? When can fans expect to see this in consumer form, if you will?
So we're aiming for early January, and we're going to also be setting up viewing parties and watch parties with both schools. So we give them an early sneak peek of it, and really just thank them. Again, I just want to thank both schools for being so welcoming and really allowing us to tell their story. And I really hope we do them justice, but I'm pretty sure we will.
Again, Louis Giagrande from LG Electronics USA. Louis, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's cold up here, so you can get a jacket on. Enjoy the rest of the game. We'll take this 1 minute timeout. When we come back, we'll get you some first half highlights. Again, our score at the break. It is DePauw 14 and Wabash 7. You're watching the 130th Monon Bell Classic right here on ISC.
I felt like I became a totally different person at DePauw.
DePauw was really one of the first places that I had an opportunity to explore the arts, the sciences, economics.
DePauw gave me that chance to not only be a leader, but to teach leadership skills to other people.
And DePauw students are known for being well over-invested in their time and commitments, and yet somehow they find a way to do all of it. There's a hunger that we get that starts here.
Brad Walk America, Steve Hoffman about to rejoin me. Greg Rakestraw, Kelsey Casper. We'll talk to Don Morrell coming up in a matter of moments. We fly the first half highlights at you. Again, the first half stats, pretty loaded in terms of in favor of DePauw, but the score is what's most important. 14-7, DePauw with the lead. We will go ahead and actually step out of these highlights. We'll kind of pick them back up. But we don't want to make a man who is coaching in his last Monon Bell game wait. Don Morrell is standing by with Kelsey Casper. Kelsey, go ahead.
Well, Coach, we finally start to see some rhythm from the offense on that last possession. What was the biggest difference in that final drive to end the half with the score?
Well, we just started to open it up a little bit. We wanted to keep it close. I thought we did a great job of keeping the score low for both teams. Our defense is playing really well. We're very happy where we are right now.
Speaking of your defense, they had some big moments, a missed field goal, a red zone interception. What do those guys have to do to keep this game close?
We're counting on them. Just got to bring the energy, and they've done it so far.
Appreciate it, Coach. Thank you.
Kelsey, thank you. Don, we'll hear more from Kelsey here in the second half, so we'll pick those highlights back up, but we'll get general impressions. Brad, I know you are studying the box scores as furiously as any class you had at DePauw University. I think I've known you long enough you're trying to figure out how those numbers compute to just 14-7 at halftime.
Is how that's happened, because DePauw has dominated offensively. So if you just look at the numbers, you think, how is this not a 3-4 score game? But the story is, great red zone defense once again by Wabash. A missed field goal and then an interception inside the 5-yard line for DePauw. I said it, when we broke for halftime, and you heard Coach Dietz say it, just do what we're doing on offense. It's fine. It's working. You look at even, McCahill, 2 carries, 41 yards. So even the quarterback is moving the ball on the ground. So really everything's working for DePauw. Defensively, I don't think they changed much, but it depends on what Wabash wants to come out and do. If you see Wabash come out and maybe run a bit of a hurry up or open it up more, then DePauw's going to have to figure out how they adjust from what they did at the end of the second half.
Individual numbers in the first half for Wabash. McCahill, 9 of 12 interception. Again, that's just his 3rd of the season. That is compared to 2 touchdowns, which are numbers 40 and 41 of the season. Whitehead, 17 carries, 99 yards. McCahill, not normally a runner, 2 carries for 41 yards. Lekowski, 4 catches, 74 and a touchdown. Quigley, 1 catch, 28 yards and a touchdown. Ballantyne has been largely contained by Wabash defensively, 2 catches for 14 yards. For Wabash, Campbell, 7 of 10 for 94 yards and a touchdown. Xavier Tyler has not been slowed by anybody this year the way that DePauw has slowed him down. 9 carries for 13 yards. In fact, you mix in sack yardage, 7 yards rushing for the Little Giants. And I'll point this out. They had 310 yards rushing last year against DePauw. But the last drive was the thing. Garrity, 2 catches, 44 yards. Thompson, 3 catches, 29 yards. That's for a score. And again, all of those numbers came on the last drive of the half. So, Mr. Hoffman, we bring you back in here as well. Thoughts on what Coach Morrell had to say and the fact that numbers be darned, Wabash has made it a 1-score game.
Well, we all know the only numbers that count are the numbers for the home team, numbers for the visitors team, and the scoring column. Coach Morrell said all week, he goes, look, we got to keep this thing close. We need to make their offense work for what they're doing. We need to run the ball effectively, which we have not. But we need to run the ball to kind of take up some time and kind of keep this thing a ball game. DePauw's not had any close games, and I think what Wabash is thinking, our last 2 games we've won in the fourth quarter, 2 games by a total of 4 points you alluded to earlier, Greg. And so I think if you're Wabash, look, playing a really explosive DePauw team, so try to keep this thing close late in the game. It gives ourselves a chance to win where anything can happen. So in some ways that game plan has been working, but I think we would like to be running the ball a little bit. We definitely don't want to turn into one-dimensional offense.
Well, I think one of the things I mentioned before that last drive, I think I said this is the biggest drive of the game so far, and it turned out to be. This might be the second biggest coming out of the half, because if DePauw can go down and put points on the board, things get ugly pretty quick. But for Wabash, if they can stop this offense and get the ball back with a chance to tie it, again, I think this is a huge momentum opportunity for both teams on this first possession. And what you heard Coach Dietz say, he wants his team to prove that momentum is not a factor, not an issue, and now they've got a chance to disprove that.
Yeah, looking through the stats, Ben Gomez, DePauw's punter, is like the Maytag repairman. He's had nothing to do today. 0 punts on the day, which is really hard to do. For only scoring 14 points, you'd think they'd be punching it in time after time.
Some team stats to share with you. DePauw 13 first downs and Wabash 5. DePauw 152 yards rushing, 6.6 yards per carry, 7 yards rushing for Wabash, 0.5 yards per carry. 94 yards receiving for Wabash, 130 for DePauw. So again, plays and yards, 24 plays, 101 yards for Wabash, 35 plays, 282 yards for DePauw. Yards per play, 8.1 for DePauw, 4.2 for Wabash. Penalties, just 2, both against DePauw for 20 yards. Time of possession, 17:50 for the Tigers, 12:05 for Wabash.
And, you know, Wabash's offensive plays, 24 total plays and a half. It's so small.
Love the drone shots, backed by popular demand from a season ago. You see the tremendous athletic complex here, Riva Stadium for soccer, field hockey. You see softball down there. You don't find a better view for small college baseball than what you have here, kind of on the other end of where this camera angle is. Indoor tennis, right there. In fact, the IHSAA state finals were contested here a year ago in cold and rainy conditions back in October. So Wabash set to kick this one off.
The other part of the stats, you know, coming out and what our defense has tried to do, really tried to get the ball to truncate their offensive plays a little bit and their play list by taking away Quigley and Ballantyne. They have really, I mean, big pass play to Quigley, but other than that, really kind of taking them away, opened it up for some other people. Yes, they've had success, but I know that was the game plan for defensive coordinator Coach Gilbert, and not let 13 and 84 beat you, because they beat 9 other teams this year.
So Rucker to kick this ball away. Johnson, one of 2 players back at the 5-yard line. Second half, here we go. This one will bounce into the end zone for a touchback. While we have the moment, let's thank our tremendous ISC Sports Network crew and our director, Vince Morales. Carlos Alarkin is on replay. Adam Phipps is on graphics. Clark Quinlan is our timeout coordinator. Thank you, Nick Rice, Rob Lynch, Brian Pierce, Greg Sharton, Eldon Wheeler, Mike McManus, and our drone pilot is Nick Seeger. They are all combining to bring you these shots on this glorious Saturday afternoon here in Putnam County. Here's McCahill. It was Rennie who was the starter in this game 2 years ago in a 49-14 win. Chase Andrus before that. Now McCahill, who has thrown his 81st and 82nd touchdown tosses of his career. He was the guy that preceded Danny O'Neill at Cathedral, who's now the starting quarterback at San Diego State. Fake the handoff on the throw. Pop pass, seam route. Quigley makes a man miss. Quigley, foot race. Can he go 75 yards? Yes, he can. Touchdown Tigers, no flags. That's a start to the second half for the home team.
Well, we said they couldn't slow down the DePauw offense. It was only DePauw slowing themselves down, and that proved it right there. Quigley, you can't keep him quiet for too long. Another long play. What a start to the half for DePauw, just what they needed to regain momentum.
Quigley's 12th touchdown of the season. He has touched the ball twice today. He has scored touchdowns both times and has 103 yards receiving. And it's right back to a 2-score game. Snap back, kick up. This one is good. We'll keep it here since we're all of 13 seconds into the third quarter, but a dream start for the Tigers to have 2.
I mean, this is kind of the score you would have expected looking at the first half stats for Wabash now. Hey, look, you were down 14 just a few minutes ago. You just got to go back on offense. Didn't take a lot of time off the clock there, so plenty of game left. You go back on offense. You see if you can repeat some of what you did at the end of the second half, get right back in this one.
Yeah, it looked like we slid our Sam linebacker out again, which seemed to work pretty well the first half. Sam Ringer on him, but you don't want Quigley to get sneaking to the inside, and he got inside of Sam Ringer, and then with his speed just going up the seam, and good throw by McCahill, and those two have connected a lot this year.
This puts the onus back on Wabash. We saw him open up the offense in the last 2 minutes of the second quarter. And the aforementioned Maytag repairman and Ben Gomez is on to kick it away. That is a more modern reference than my night train lane, so job well done by you on
much.
that.
Not much.
Just a couple of decades.
Not much.
Still
yes.
Several decades ago at this point. Gomez blasts this one away. Fair catch. And because the ball was bobbled, the fair catch goes away, and Wabash will start this drive inside of the 5-yard line.
Well, not yet quite a cataclysmic start to the second half for the Little Giants, but you know, if the offense doesn't get anything done here and then DePauw goes down and scores again, it's starting to get that way.
And good job just to stay upright again. Boom, lowered yet again by DePauw defensively. So instead of the 3, it goes all the way back to the 1. In other words, you can't advance the fair catch. So 99 yards away from the end zone starts this drive for Wabash College.
And Alexander, his knee almost hit down in the end zone too. That could have been a disaster.
Well, which is ironic though. If he would have muffed that into the own end zone, we'd have been out.
Correct. Yeah. So Tyler flanking Campbell. Tyler does get out of the end zone. Marsh stands him up. It'll be a gain of 2. And frankly, you're just trying to get room to get your punt team out there, trying to get at least a first down this drive if you're Wabash.
Yeah, I think that's right. Get out of the shadow of your own goalpost, literally down here, as they say.
Those shadows won't be kicking in too much longer from now. Even as fast as this game has gone, sunset at 5:30 this time of year. Wabash looks to throw, and it's intercepted, picked off, 15-yard line. Bruder with the interception.
We mentioned Bruder, Marsh, how good those linebackers are. Bruder was close on one earlier in the first half. Gets his hands on this one, and DePauw's in great field position.
Now Campbell showing a little bit of that youth and experience there. Bruder sitting there waiting. The intended target for the Little Giants was Cannon Chase.
Again, really good pass protection in time, kind of similar to what we saw earlier in the first half, where Campbell's just looking to find his receiver in one of those windows. There were no windows, completely shut by the DePauw defense.
Yeah, I think he had a chance to get the little air under the ball and get out in front of him a little bit. I couldn't tell from the replay where the other safety was coming over, but maybe there was nowhere to go. But either way, it's a pick for DePauw.
For Campbell, just his second. DePauw, Whitehead out of the backfield. Rupert steers him out of bounds at about the 6-yard line. That should be right around the first down mark. We'll see if the chains will move. They will. 1st and goal for the Tigers.
Yep, just not much there. Taking the check down, real patient, and plenty of room for Whitehead to run for the first down.
And Whitehead, like we said earlier, frequently used out of the backfield and frequently used in terms of running the ball into the end zone. Touchdown. And what a start for DePauw in the span of 87 seconds. 2 touchdowns, and they lead it 27-7.
You know, Whitehead really was the focus of the DePauw offense in the first half. 17 carries, so he gets rewarded here, has a nice catch for the first down, and then the C's part there for the walk-in touchdown, rewarding him for really being a big part of the DePauw offense so far.
Was not touched. The first rushing touchdown of the game for DePauw. Whitehead now 100 yards rushing on the game, and all of a sudden, there's some daylight. 28-7, DePauw leading this one. We'll take a 60-second timeout. You're watching 130th Monon Bell Classic on the ISC Sports Network.
Monon is pretty much the biggest game in D3.
And we always want to keep that bell, especially for the campus.
It comes down to tradition and brotherhood, playing for the guys that are to your left and to your right.
The past history that we've had, over 100 years of other men that have played.
Let's go, Tigers! Let's go! Ah!
Let's go. Put up 6, let's go.
Let's go!
Whenever I've been challenged, there is something really good waiting around that corner. When I've been challenged to put in more effort on the athletic field or put in more hours to read or to study for a really hard exam, I see good results because I was challenged. My freshman year, I was challenged in every aspect, but I came back even stronger because of those challenges. To me, challenges are what make life fun.
Back to Blackstock, and the large lead of the game now belongs to the DePauw Tigers at 28-7. Again, Wabash had momentum going into halftime. Well, DePauw has quickly wrestled it, Brad, right back.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what Coach Dietz was hoping for, to stave off that momentum that Wabash had at the end of the first half. And, I mean, wow, I said at the timeout, I said this escalated quickly. It really, really did. The turnover, the long touchdown, one play, and 2 plays later, and the kickoff. Yeah.
And every play of the second half so far has gone DePauw's way. I mean, the first play from scrimmage was the long pass to Quigley. Wabash even buffed the kickoff to get the ball in the 1, got no gain on the first down, then threw a pick, and then the 2 plays, DePauw's in the end zone. So you're right, escalating quickly is an understatement.
An interception thrown by Campbell, just his 2nd of the season. He's been the starter the last 8 games. Little Giants will bring this one back. Their 2nd kick return of the day, and there's something here. Bouncing it outside. Opportunity. And they'll cross the 50-yard line. Connor Thompson with the kick return. It was Ringer earlier. Wabash desperately, Steve, needed that.
Yeah, it certainly did. And the Wabash faithful who watched us all year going, why have we been fair catching kickoffs all year, kickoff returns all year? I joke with Coach Morrell about it because he points out the starting field position is better when you fair catch all your kickoffs. But we've done that all year, so nice return there. We don't see much of that.
I appreciate Don kind of giving us the heads up before the game. Hey, listen, we're going to return the kick. Don't be surprised, knowing that they, frankly, from an injury standpoint, just don't do it. They just fair catch it and take the ball to 25-yard line.
Holdings that set you back deep in your own territory. He just doesn't like them.
Looking for the big play. Great coverage. Campbell buying time. Good job by the receiver and Thompson to break off the route and get a positive gain. But you almost get the feeling, Steve, now it's got to be points every drive for Wabash.
Yeah, that like we said, it happened quickly, and you certainly do. We're down 3 scores, and earlier it was just trying to stay in the game and get the score every now and then, get the offense to do something, but it's a little bit more of a game than that right now.
7-yard completion. Bruder, who had the pick on the last defensive play, out to make the tackle on the far sideline. 2nd down. Handoff. Spinning off of a tackle and a 1st down. Again, that's Dickerson, the freshman, who picks up 5 and picks up a Wabash 1st down.
This is really what Wabash needed, the big kick return, and then sort of a busted play, but like you mentioned, Greg Thompson did a nice job of cutting off that route, turning it into 5 yards. The run there for extra yards, stand on your feet. I mean, these are the things Wabash needs to piece together here to get points and stay in the game.
Dickerson, uncommon size for a Division III running back at 217 pounds. Hand off Dickerson. And again, Steve, Wabash can still run the football here. You just got to be efficient on every drive.
Yeah, you're right, because we saw what running the football does in the first half. I mean, it's with the clock. I mean, we ran the ball all but 4 plays, I believe, of our first 17 plays, and the first half went by in no time. So you do got to start keeping an eye on that. At some point, being down 3 scores, we certainly didn't think we'd be watching the clock this early in the second half, but the score has gotten out of hand.
Pressure. And completely blowing up the play that time was the pressure. Nolan and Gould, the junior-senior defensive end combo, both got to the backfield.
It's incredible. You look at these 2 quarterbacks. They came in with a combined 3 interceptions. That's mind-boggling. 18 games combined into the season, and to have them each have thrown 1 basically in a half. I mean, that's not all that surprising in a normal game for these 2 guys, and it's really changed the tide of this game.
See the numbers on 3rd downs. They've not been great to the Little Giants so far. Likely 4-down territory. Catch made. And it'll be, again, a gain, but shy of the line to gain. TJ Alexander makes the catch. TJ, the junior from Bishop Chatard.
You said the Wabash 3rd down conversions have not been good. I'm not sure we've gotten one all day, right?
Correct,
so
0 of 6, yeah. That was my very nice way of saying not good.
That was very nice.
Very polite.
Thank you.
4th down and 4. First 4th down try for the Little Giants. Catch made, 1st down, well-designed play, and it's Alexander on the grab.
Yeah, just a simple rollout, a nice out route by the receiver. DePauw playing off a little bit there, doesn't want to give up anything big. Pretty easy pitch and catch for the 1st down.
Yeah, and Wabash gone with now bringing in an extra lineman. Here's a good look at the 6th lineman formation that we've been doing some this year. We have 6 guys numbered 50 to 79. We have 1 in the tight end spot up top, if you will, in that 3rd spot from the center. And we still have a tight end in Connor Garrity.
A jumbo formation here. With that, just run the ball. It's a flea flicker. It's a reverse. Alexander outruns a defensive lineman and does get some positive yardage.
Crazy play. It almost looked like a fumble on the hit. It was a design play, a move around there. Now the DePauw coaches, I think, are really upset about what they thought was an illegal block.
Well, it might have been a block in the back. Jake Comer is down behind the play. And again, that's the hit that the DePauw sideline thought could have been a block in the back. You see the lineman and Cameron Ford at 6'6" and 273 put his hands up trying to avoid, again, making that contact in the back.
If it was that one, I think they were thinking that could be a blindside block.
Right.
It's forceful. I don't know what the language is in college. Forceful contact is what they're looking at, but holding their hands up, they're usually not going to throw that. That's how the game has changed and for the good, guys.
Well, hold your hands up. I don't think the DePauw coach will like that angle. You hold your hand up, then you put your arm down into it. I think
I'm saying 3 years ago, he's lowered his shoulder and blown him up.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. It's an injury situation.
Hopefully Comer's he's come back after an ankle injury. They didn't think they'd have him at all for this game, and he was able to suit up, and we've seen him out there for a few snaps now coming off. Hopefully, not sure if that's the same injury or something new, but for DePauw, you hope you see him back out there.
And Comer was a difference maker in the first half. He had 6 tackles in the first half, did Comer.
It's a great effort to still get that pitch off. That play almost got blown up.
Different quarterback in here as well for Wabash. Fake the run, the throw. So the quarterback on that play, Adam Mullett, young man from HSC, transfer from FCS Western Illinois. He's thrown a handful of passes this year. He now will exit as Campbell comes back in. Out of the backfield, that was the freshman in Dickerson that made the grab, just his 5th catch of the season. So Wabash is emptying the playbook here, as you kind of have to when you're down 3 scores in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, and Adam Mullett, as you see, is 6'6", 200-pound quarterback. Don't see too many 6'6" quarterbacks in Division III either, but interesting to see Adam in there for that one play.
Handoff to Dickerson. This is the more conventional handoff. Garrity is the lead blocker. Doesn't get the first down, but he does get to the 5-yard line and a 7-yard pickup, 2nd and 3.
Yeah, well, now we get a chance to see DePaul's red zone defense. They've also been successful. We talked a lot about Wabash's, but DePaul's defense, they've been successful all over the field all year, but their red zone defense is ranked up there as well.
Their defense has been phenomenal all over the field. Dickerson, 5 carries now for 18 yards, and they're finding a little more traction with Dickerson than Tyler in this game. 3-man shift to the right side. And handoff goes that way. Simple numbers game. Touchdown, Little Giants. Dickerson, his 6th rushing touchdown of his freshman season.
What a response by the Wabash offense. Duly needed after the start of the second half, and to get down the field and put together a decent drive there. And like I said, Colt Dickerson, you'll see him. It looks like they're going to start using him more today, but you'll like the way he runs. He's just kind of a big, smooth runner, and you can see it a little bit on that drive there.
I think you go back to the kick return, too. How big was that to start the drive into DePauw territory? The less plays you can run against this defense, the better, and that's a great drive.
So 28-14, we'll keep it right here. Midway through the 3rd quarter. Wabash on the board for a 2nd time today. And again, Wabash now, only Denison has scored more points against DePauw this year. And yes, I realize Wabash has just 14 points. That's how good DePauw's defense has been. And Brad, do you almost start playing keep away a little bit here if you're DePauw? They have been successful running it or throwing it. Is it almost 4-minute drill time here in the 3rd quarter if you're DePauw?
I don't know, simply because everything's been working. I mean, you ran 1 play and scored last time. If you can score, score. And right now, everything's working. Still 8.5 minutes to go for 3rd quarter. I think you just keep to your offense, put points on the board, and try to extend that lead.
Right, that's exactly right, because if I'm the Wabash defense. I'm hoping DePauw does something different than they've been doing because it's just like you said, they've been going right down the field. Haven't seen the DePauw punter we talked about all day, so it's like to force a punt here or get a takeaway, which they emphasize.
That's where DePauw's passing game being so efficient helps too. You know, you could probably get moving the clock with completions, the way they run their pass tree.
Right.
And this kick will easily reach the end zone. Again, there's a little breeze behind it, but DePauw will bring it out. And there's some room here. Down at the 30-yard line, a little bit further out than that. So the last solid kick return for the Tigers, we saw a couple of penalties come in. Not the case this time. So this drive for the Tigers will start at the 32.
Yeah, such interesting, differing philosophies on kick returns for these two teams. So we have seen Wabash DePauw's bringing it out of the end zone and actually has had a couple of nice returns. And those returns played a key factor in this game. Returns or non-returns, as we saw on the muff return from Wabash earlier.
Whitehead, 105 yards. The last time he touched it was a touchdown to make it then a 3-score lead. And I think delay a game, yep. 0 on the play clock.
So that's it. One of the things Brett Dietz told me before the game, he said this crew in particular really likes to get the play clock moving very quick. He said, I think that will be a factor. It may cause us to burn some timeouts. It did in the first half. They nearly had to delay a game. We just saw one there. Something to keep an eye on.
The broadcast crew typically appreciates that, keeping the game moving. This game has not suffered from lack of pace. We are midway through the third quarter already. Hand off to Whitehead. I'm not sure the 5 yards, given the way DePauw has moved the football, is that big of a detriment. He just casually picked up 10 yards off left tackle.
Yeah, he said, I mean, the big plays have been in the passing game, but I mentioned when he scored, kind of rewarding him, was 17 carries, 99 yards in the first half. He's really had a nice game.
Whitehead picking up where Gus Baumgartner left off. After going back and watching the last 2 years' broadcast, there had to be at least one Gus Bus reference on the broadcast from what he did as a tailback for DePauw the last 3 seasons. 2nd and 5. Again, the handoff. Whitehead, Rupert there to meet him. Gets 2, maybe 3, sets up 3rd down.
Huge play coming up here now for the Wabash defense, and you've got momentum with your offense. You've moved the ball. You know, take away the short field in the end zone. The last 2 times you've had the ball for Wabash, you've moved it going back to the first half. So if they can get the ball back in their offense's hands, they got to feel really, really good. Big play for DePauw.
Yeah, and I think DePauw's was coming up seeing how many people we have in the box. That's why they're giving the ball to Whitehead so much, because we're getting Ringer out of the box on Quigley a little bit and just taking what they're given.
Fake the handoff to Quigley. McCahill will cut it back. McCahill, 1st down. And of the long litany of what DePauw does well offensively, probably pretty far down the list was a McCahill run, but 3 times, Brad, he's made big plays with his feet.
He's been phenomenal on the ground today. You know, a couple of design runs in the first half, and now this is just him doing what he needs to do to pick up a 1st down. Wabash had that play action fake covered really, really well. I think they wanted to go out in the flat, maybe to the running back, and McCahill able to make one guy miss and pick up the 1st down.
And he is the NCAC record holder, as you see on your screen, for single season touchdown passes. He has added to that today. So he now has 42 on the season. Blitz coming, McCahill reads it, quick hitter, Ballantyne. Ballantyne bought down eventually by Rupert, Epstein, etc. He does give ground, which I think, they're going to give him the 1st down. 10 yards, 1st down for DePauw.
Yeah, he's kind of right on the sticks, thought he maybe took a step back and then got spun down right at the marker.
Yeah, good look there at what every defense tries to do, strip the ball. And in some ways, you know, if you're a DePauw fan, you're just hoping, you know, go down, because you see him like just trying to rip that ball out. And so longer you're on your feet, the more chance that can happen.
Well, we talked about this. You know, DePauw, I think, would like to move the ball, but do so in a more methodical fashion. It's exactly what they're doing. We're down to less than 6 to play here in the 3rd quarter, and they've got a 2-score lead. Handoff. Menser, nowhere to go. Gavin Rupert on the play. Gavin, the junior from Greenwood.
Hey, Gavin Rupert's slowly moving up the career tackles list at Wabash. Only a junior, but already 13th on the career tackles list. I think 258 or something like that coming into the game. And so he's just quietly kind of amassed a bunch of tackles.
69 tackles coming into the contest, 11 for loss and 3 sacks for the former Greenwood Woodman. One of the rare times that DePauw has been behind the chains today. 2nd and 13. Blitz coming. McCahill dropped. Sacked by Wabash. Brody Fry with the sack.
Well, and rushing 3 people, getting the sack, that's really surprising. We had 5 in the box. I was really expecting a run there, as much as we're trying to take away the pass.
For Fry, it's his 4th sack of the season. And now DePauw facing 3rd and 21.
For the Tigers here, you just maybe want to get some positive yardage, get it back near midfield, make it a more manageable and easier punt to pin Wabash deep.
Out in the flat, Whitehead. Whitehead, not close to the first down. We'll get it to the 45-yard line. So he gets 12, but it's 4th down and 9, and the punt team will assemble for the first time today. Wabash gets the stop they absolutely had to have. Now, DePauw does take a solid 4 or 5 minutes off the clock, but they will kick it away in punt form for the first time.
There's 2 huge plays. You know, that first down, being able to get a tackle for loss, set it up 2nd and 13, and a great individual effort for the sack. And that's exactly what the Wabash defense needed to slow down this DePauw offense.
Good pressure applied. Gomez's kick. Thompson will simply let it nestle down. A pro DePauw roll will go down to the 11-yard line. So a 34-yard kick and no return, but Steve, Wabash is hanging around. They're doing exactly what they need to do.
Yeah, hanging around. Would like to be hanging around a little closer to the goal, but nonetheless hanging around. And it's going to be really big here because our last scoring drive was less than 50 yards because of that big kickoff return. It's going to be interesting to see if we can put together now a 90-yard scoring drive.
Let's go down to Kelsey Casper. Brand Campbell is the quarterback today. Beginning of the year, maybe he wasn't supposed to be. Kelsey Casper has more.
Yeah, guys, after serving as a backup to Liam Thompson for 3 years, Blake White patiently waited for his opportunity to start, which he finally got this season. But in just the 2nd game of the year, Blake tore his pec and was out for the season. Ever since then, this team has relied on Brand Campbell to carry this offense. But despite all those years of waiting and doing everything this team has asked him, Blake had surgery the following day and was immediately back on the sidelines the following week, helping coach this quarterback position, even doing it in a sling. Coach said that's a testament to the person he is. He's a tough kid, focused on helping this team while also earning his law degree at Wabash.
People don't exactly understand the fact there's not that many assistant coaches at the Division III level. So literally, he's legitimately like an assistant coach on this team, is White.
Yeah, that's a really good point. You have somebody like that. We have another coach who's a full-time coach now because he graduated, but was a coach for all 4 years as a student. I'm sure the same is on the DePauw side as well, but you're right. You're getting resources wherever you can in these programs.
It's a first down.
But she's right. It was so tough with Blake White because we're all rooting for him. You know, he was behind Liam for 3 years. Then Liam came back for another one. Well, he's behind for 2, and then Liam decides to come back, so now it's 3. Now Blake gets a shot and then gets injured in the 2nd game of the year.
Take the handoff. Out in the flat, catch made. First down, good move made on that far sideline. Coming up a bit gimpy, though, after the play. That is Cannon Chase. Springs Valley High School for Cannon Chase. He's got 21 catches coming into the game. That's good enough for a Wabash first down.
Well, he's been playing injured, but not with the ham. He looked like he kind of grabbed his hamstring a little there. But he has been playing injured with a stress fracture of his foot, but that doesn't seem like that's what would have been the problem there.
For Chase, that's his first catch of the game. On the handoff, Dickerson. Dickerson bounces off the tackle, 40-yard line, 8-yard pickup. Steve, what has changed now in the Wabash running game?
Well, I don't know, but I really don't. I've seen this happen with us before, and I think Coach Olmstead, our offensive line coach, shout out to him, and Coach Morrell, I just think they're really good about figuring out what the defense is trying to do with shading and if they're trying to move and kind of what we might be able to do, because you see a lot of games where our offensive or our running game starts to pick up as the game goes on.
Out in the flat, catch made, first down. And I guess I need to point out, the last time that Wabash won the bell, they came from 21 points down. That was at home 3 years ago. That is known as the Liam Thompson stiff arm game. Here it is, 28-7 in the second half. Now 28-14, and Wabash starting to pick up the pace offensively yet again.
They're doing a nice job just taking what DePauw's defense is giving them. DePauw, not sure they're not giving up a big play, a lot of stuff underneath.
Campbell looking, throws, has a man. Great find, first down. Taken down, 19-yard line. TJ Alexander, and that will be a gain of 35 yards.
What a great job by Brandon Campbell sliding up. We haven't seen him enough to really know what kind of quarterback he is yet. At least I haven't. But being able to come up and keep his eyes upfield, which a lot of quarterbacks don't do. A lot would have tuck it and run right there. But to keep his eyes up and then see the open receiver, that's just a really headsy play by Brand.
And the defender bearing down on him too. Great play.
Yes.
Handoff goes to Dickerson. And Dickerson will get a yard or, well, just a yard. No second option needed, 2nd and 9. And Comer back out there on the tackle.
And that play right there was the kind of play we saw for, our every possession in the first half. If you're Wabash, every play except for the last one of the first half.
Momentum on the side of Wabash, but if you tell Brett Dietz and company, hey, you got a 2-score lead in your building going to the fourth quarter, he'd take it. That's exactly where we are. 28-14. Fourth quarter, the Monon Bell comes your way next on ISC.
Wabash always fights. Our motto brings the spirit of competition to everything we do. In top-notch athletics, we have a championship pedigree that is unrivaled. Off the field, we boast outstanding theater, music, and choral programs, intense intramurals, gaming, and more. The Wabash experience doesn't end at the classroom. Whether you play to win or just for fun, this is the place to be. Come to Wabash. Play more.
Before I was on campus, I was very nervous. I gotta make friends and my teacher's gonna be nice. But now that I'm here, all my fears have washed away and I'm more excited to learn than I have been in a while.
And that's one of the things I think that DePauw does incredibly well. It provides an opportunity for individuals to find their place in the world. And that's something that the university provides everyone who comes here.
It's never the last time you're at DePauw. You'll always be back, and I know that I'm coming back for these people and these places and these memories that I have.
2nd down and 9 at the 19-yard line. First play of the fourth quarter. Thanks for joining us on ISC. Here comes pressure, and this time the youngster from Florida cannot get away. Campbell is sacked, a loss of 6. Nolan got back there for DePauw. Want to make sure we thank another member of our crew today, our stats runner, thanks to Blake Wakamerka. Is he earning some allowance money by helping us in the broadcast today?
I think so. It probably won't be much. We'll see. But yeah, it's really great to be able to bring him, 6th grader, a big football fan, football player, and his first Monon Bell, because there's not many sports.
And Steve has already tried to recruit him to Wabash, which has been great to see.
He's not the only one. Yeah, there's a few folks over there trying to get him.
3rd down and 15. 3-man rush. Again, some pressure. Tries to get home. Waiting. Nowhere to go. Sack rolling. Loss of 1. Steve, field goal here, or you got to go for it down 2 scores?
Well, I think if he would have tucked it and run, I think we'd have thought about a field goal here. But I just don't know what a field goal does for you. Look, it's no chip shot here. I mean, it'd be a 45-yarder or so.
And his longest is 39.
I think you got to go for it.
Yeah, Steve, you're right. You'd like to maybe see him. He hesitated at the last minute. Maybe he saw a receiver we didn't see, but maybe run that at least 5-6 yards. That got out of bounds.
Yeah.
So 4th and 16. Got to get this ball to the 10-yard line. Blitz coming. Throw made, catch made, but short. And a big pop delivered by Nolan Tully, the senior from Woodstock, Georgia. Garrity picks up 14. Needed 16. First down, Tigers.
And that might be the difference on that 3rd down play, not getting a few extra yards. Again, I mean, DePauw is playing pretty soft back there, just, give nothing beyond the sticks. And that's a really good tackle on a guy that's broken a few tackles so far today. So nice job by DePauw to get off the field.
You started to mention, Greg, earlier Jake Comer's name, and we mentioned their story last year with his brother Sam Comer being an exceptional basketball player on the Final Four team at Wabash when he was there, and Jake now finishing up his career at DePauw.
Well, great job by our crew to catch that. Tully came up, and hopefully he's all right on the sideline. We'll see if he's back out there for the next series. The ball on a 2-score lead. Whitehead. Spun down, should be right around a first down marker, and Whitehead is trying to kind of etch his name in Monon Bell history. We have an injured player down for Wabash. That's Cooper Jarvis that is the injured player down.
Yeah, Whitehead here, again, more patience, this time really exploding through the hole. We've seen him kind of be patient, dance a little bit, pick up 4 or 5 yards, that time right up the gut for 10.
Most yards rushing by a DePauw running back in the Bell over the last 70 years belongs to Bart Simpson. Back in 1973, had 190 yards rushing. Whitehead is not there yet. But Whitehead, 21 carries, 127 yards, and a touchdown.
He's had a couple, he's caught 3 passes too out of the backfield, so he's done several things well for the Tigers. And now this is where you probably really do want to bleed some of the clock. We were saying, hey, maybe don't go away from what's worked, and I don't think DePauw is going to get ultra conservative here. Again, they have such a potent passing game, but getting that 4th down stop, now you're 2 scores up, got a first down, 13 minutes to go, you'd like to bleed some clock.
Yeah, this is the first time right after that play I started looking at the clock and really thinking about it, because being 2 scores down, and DePauw's been running the ball so successfully. It'll be interesting to see if we try to get more people in the box to stop the run, more because of the time, and almost force DePauw to throw the ball, which they've done well all year as well. There's just so many weapons on that side of the ball.
On the handoff, Whitehead. Not much there, but again, you'll take 4 yards and the clock running every time if you're the Tigers.
Yeah, absolutely. Looked like not a lot, and then you look up and, hey, there's 4.5 yards. It's exactly what you want. Some good blocking on the outside, and Whitehead just lowers the shoulder, and it picks up a couple more.
Because our focus has been on the Bell, there's some other kind of couple of big picture things we haven't talked about yet. DePauw going for a 4th consecutive NCAC championship. Last team to do that, well, Wittenberg and Wabash have done it in the 40-year history of the NCAC. Handoff, Whitehead. First down. Taken down at the 36-yard line, a 10-yard pickup.
Something else too, Greg, this would be, DePauw's won 23 straight regular season games. This would be 24th, 3rd longest streak in all of college football across all levels. So that's pretty impressive. I mean, it doesn't mean as much as winning the playoffs, but they have been really, really good in the regular season the last couple of years.
Last year was a 10-0 regular season. That was the first 10-win season in DePauw's football history. And again, they are in line to get potentially multiple home games here at Blackstock. Well, let's talk about the revamped Division III playoff format in a moment. Fake the handoff, McCahill looking for the big play. Ballantyne. There was a little bit of a tug there, but not enough, says the field judge, to throw a flag, 2nd down.
You talk about streaks too, the winning streak. Ballantyne's caught a touchdown in 14 straight games. We're kind of on watch for that at this point to see if that's a streak. That's an absurd streak, by the way, too.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think Wabash going there more toward the 4-down lineman, really trying to. I think we just got to start taking away the run. It still seems silly to even say that with the receivers that DePauw has on the outside and McCahill throwing the football.
On the handoff, that's Carson Johnson.
The other thing Coach Gilbert talked about, Brad and Greg, was every team runs RPOs. They call what DePauw does a little bit like PROs, like they're looking to pass first.
Right.
They're like looking, can I pass it? No, I better give it, rather than the other way around.
So 3rd and short. Whitehead back in for this play. Tigers looking for their 20th first down of the game. And again, they will go at a deliberate pace. They largely have for the course of the game. But time is their friend with a 2-score lead. Play clock is at 5. Whitehead cuts it inside, has it. Able to run through that first contact. Needed 2, got 3. First down, Tigers.
Yeah, it was interesting to see that deep ball for Valentine, almost like the kill shot there from DePauw. Didn't work, stopped the clock. Now you go right back to the ground. 2 plays, pick up first down. I wouldn't be surprised to see them keep this on the ground for the way they've been having success. Just try to milk that clock at this point.
Yeah, and the offensive linemen love these situations. Like, hey, we got to run the ball now to take up some time, and that's what they just love on both sides of the ball.
DePauw looking to win the Bell for a 3rd consecutive year. Last time that happened was a streak of 5 straight from 96 through 2000. McCahill buying time. Flags get thrown. That'll be another flag for a blindside block on Quigley. Basically, every official on the field threw a flag. I see 6 different flags currently on the field. I think the last time that happened, the Mean Machine was involved.
I think there were
Here's
3
what's
flags
going to
for
be
penalty.
interesting. We had a hold, but those are these 2 flags
right
back here. That was obvious. We had a blindside block. Both those are on DePauw, but I feel like the one over here on the 50 is going to be an offsides on Wabash, which will offset them. And then we'll replay the down, which would really be to DePauw's advantage.
Oh, yeah. So there are 6 officials on your screen. There is a 7th that is not part of this huddle. So I want to know what the one guy that didn't throw the flag didn't see. If the other 6 guys are throwing a flag on one play, what are you doing?
Right.
Maybe you just feel bad at that point.
That was the 5th dentist. 4 recommended one brand, the 5th.
I'm not sure I've ever seen 6 flags on a game.
No.
And I think there's going to be 3 different penalties.
I think this is called an amusement park.
There are 2 fouls on the play. You got a legal blindside block, number 13 from DePauw. That penalty is declined. We have holding on the number 61 of DePauw. That penalty will be accepted. 10 yards from the previous spot, still first down.
So they will take the first flag because it was the one that happened furthest back on the field. So 1st and 20 coming up here for the Tigers.
So this one at the bottom must have been for the hold too. He just didn't get it out there very far. And I don't think we can continue without referencing that stellar Six Flags amusement park
Thank you.
that you threw in there.
I've been spending a lot of time driving around the Midwest and passed a Six Flags a couple of days ago, so it was top of my mind. Wabash has not had a penalty yard against them today. DePauw has officially had 4 flags accepted for 35 yards. So ball at the 37-yard line. McCahill, again, quarterback draw. This time Wabash was a little more wise to it. I believe that was Stephen Thomas that makes the tackle. It was. Stephen, about as sizable a fellow to play defense at D3 as you're going to find. 6'5" and 307.
Well, that reach of being 6'5" helped a lot right there to be able to grab McCahill. He had some room to run on that draw, and he's run that very well today.
We've talked about Danville Warriors a lot in this game. He is one of them as well. The conventional handoff to Whitehead. Whitehead gets room. Whitehead has a first down. Whitehead is thinking about the end zone. He is steered out of bounds by Epstein. That's how you raise 2nd down and 20 for the former Park Tudor Panther.
What a play. I mean, just what a game Whitehead has had. When DePauw really needed it most, he explodes for a huge run, a backbreaker for Wabash after the penalties, and the nice play on first down.
Whitehead's longest of the season was 57 yards. We talked about this. He is potentially trying to set a DePauw record for a running back in terms of yards in a game. As he takes this one down to the 18-yard line. They'll get a play off. McCahill lobs it to Johnson. Johnson gets a block from Lukowski. He'll be stopped just shy of the first down. But he'll pick up, call it 9. They may give it to him. We'll see. Second and short. Whitehead 25 carries on the game. Already has a touchdown.
Yeah, we keep looking at the clock. This drive already around, it looks like the 6-minute mark, if I'm doing my math correctly. And then punching in the score even adds more to it. Or even kicking a field goal, you got a 3-score game. So clock, all the factor in the world right now.
The second and a yard. Delay a game again.
It had a timeout, I think, right before it.
As a flag is down, but again, we'll see if the timeout is given first.
Dietz was trying to call it.
So the false start is whistled instead. So second down at 6. By the way, that run for Whitehead was 44 yards.
I want to take this time to recognize all the alumni from both schools out across the country at these telecast parties. So we have 47 telecast parties Wabash does, I know, around the country, and I think 40 or so of them are with DePauw, and I'm sure DePauw has their own as well. So almost 50 telecast parties around the country watching this game today.
The district tap in Indy has already checked in with me. Whitehead on the dive. He'll get the first down, but is a flag down here again? Yes, it is. Have a flag down near side. Whitehead thinks it's a face mask, but I'm not sure that's how it's going to be called.
Yeah, it looks like the signal is a face mask.
Yep.
He pointed to DePauw. The ref initially did.
Face mask, number 59 from Wabash. That'll be added to the end of the run, half the distance. First down.
First Wabash penalty of the day. And again, there you see it. Did snag it. So it'll be first and goal at the 2-yard line for Whitehead as he inches closer to 200 yards rushing, and DePauw inches closer to another 10-0 season, and again, a premium seed in the upcoming Division III playoffs. Whitehead cuts it inside, touchdown. DePauw has a 3-score lead with 6:16 to play.
What a drive for Whitehead. I mean, absolutely, when DePauw needed a big play, he reeled off the big run, but several other runs showing his patience, showing his burst and his skill set. What an afternoon, what a game for this young man here in the 130th Monon Bell Classic.
199 yards rushing. His second touchdown. The first half, frankly, was more of the McCahill show. This has been Whitehead in the second half, and it has all added up to what appears to be a third successive DePauw win in the Monon Bell Classic. Barry is on for the extra point. No problem with that. The kick is up and good. So again, to talk about postseason paths here, Wabash felt because of their earlier non-conference loss to a very good Wisconsin Platteville team, they kind of felt they knew they had to win this game to get to the D3 playoffs. But there is going to be a postseason game for Wabash if there is not a 21-point comeback with 6:16 left to play. That will be the bowl doubleheader that is played in Canton. The Forever Lawn Bowl, part of the Open Doors Bowl series. Those will be schools from the HCAC, the NCAC, the OAC, and the President's Athletic Conference that will play next Saturday in Canton, Ohio. For DePauw, the thought is, again, if they hold this lead here, that they will be seated high enough to not play next week. They will get a bye as the Division III playoffs have expanded from 32 teams to 40, which means the top 24 teams all get to rest. And given the emotion that goes into this game, I think that's a huge benefit for DePauw.
Oh, it's absolutely huge. Not just the bye. They're probably going to be a pretty high, probably a 2 seed in the way these brackets look out. So that could certainly give an opportunity to play maybe a bit of a lesser opponent in that second round.
Thompson on the run back. Thompson taken down at the 29-yard line. And then a flag is going to be thrown. Not sure if it's a hold going in either direction. As
I think we have a dead ball foul as well. I think we'll see both of them enforced.
Tariq Oishihi. We got to see a lot of on ISC on that Ben Davis State Champs team from a season ago. Backup linebacker. And there's a lot of juniors and seniors. I can tell you, Coach Dietz, they have a lot of kids off that Ben Davis team from last year that are going to be the stars of the future, especially on defense of this DePauw squad. He got tied up with Carson Foxen from Avon of Wabash.
Yeah, I think it still speaks to the quality of this football and the depth that these two schools have built on these rosters. There's some really good freshmen from big, successful programs coming in. They're not playing right away, right? I mean, they got to earn their stripes.
First down.
Yeah, Tariq got whistled for the foul that time. And it was 49-14 2 years ago here in Greencastle. That was the Snow Non-Bell Classic. And as you can see, a handful of fans are going to tailgate number 2 at this point.
I'm not sure Wabash has had a penalty today, have they?
Just one, just the face mask.
The face
on the last
mask.
drive. You're right. And Thompson dropped it. Campbell now 15 of 21, 184 yards, interception, and a touchdown. Well, Wabash knew their work was going to be cut out for them today. It always is in this game, but again, this is a DePauw team that has been really good the last 4 years, but they have been kind of building to this year, and here they are. On the throw. Ooh. Catch made by Garrity. Tully. And let's make sure that Garrity's all right.
Garrity's made some great catches this afternoon. Really tough ones over the middle almost every time.
Garrity might need a minute or might need a, Imick is going to come in and get him here. Garrity at the 41-yard line, and again, that was deemed to be a legal hit that Tully got him in the chest and not above the neck. But that was a wallop, and we saw it from Marsh on the first play, and even on this current play, the DePauw defense has been punishing all day long.
Well, they really have. I mean, it's, again, phenomenal effort to catch up and to secure it after kind of bobbled it going down. So hopefully he's all right. He's had a really nice game, has Garrity. I think, Rake, you were mentioning just this DePauw team and what they've gone through and how they've sort of built to this point to get to the playoffs. And this, the score a bit lopsided now, but this is such an important game for them to play a quality opponent at this point going into the playoffs. You can only play who's on your schedule, and unfortunately there's some teams that aren't very good in the NCAC, and they don't always give you a test. It's one of the reasons DePauw went and played at Berry College earlier this year to get that experience. So this is a good game at a good time for DePauw going into the playoffs.
And that's about to change. There's a couple of new teams coming to the league next year that we'll talk about. Blitz coming, and nowhere to go. Sack. And that is the old man of the group in Ethan Lowry that gets the tackle and sack for DePauw. So again, the NCAC, as Lowry, the senior from Heritage Christian, makes the play. You've got John Carroll that is coming in as a full member. And you've got Washington University out of St. Louis. It's part of the UAA for other sports. But we'll start playing football in the NCAC very soon. So frankly, business is about to pick up in this league.
Yeah, it's going to be a really good conference.
And with John Carroll in all sports, I mean, they are a program.
Coming from the OAC. Quarterback again runs to look to make a throw, but nothing there for Campbell. And it's third down.
So you look at the NCAC, just football-wise, in the last few years, we lose Allegheny, who had been down, and then now we lose Hiram, who's been down. But we're picking up John Carroll. I mean, those two out and then these two in Washington, in St. Louis. what a change that's going to make. That's good for everybody. You know, the rising tide lifts all ships.
It is.
Whatever
It's
the
been
saying
fun to
is.
watch these teams play for the conference title the last 3
Yes.
years, but still, it's going to be better. You're right, Steve.
Yes.
To that point, this game, the Bell game, has been for a conference championship 3 times in the history of this game. The last 3 years, 2022, 2023, 2024. Timeout called by Wabash. We keep it right here. But also as a bit of a history lesson, people may not realize that for the rivalry these schools have had, they really haven't been in the same league all that much historically. There were the days together in the ICAC, briefly in the mid-'70s where these teams were in the same league, but now for the better part of the last decade here in the North Coast Athletic Conference.
That's a really good point. DePauw joined the NCAC, and I don't have the year in front of me.
I want to say 2012,
maybe 15 years ago.
2013, yeah.
So 10 to 15 years ago, and that's it. Before that, we were in different conferences. Wabash was in the NCAC, DePauw was in the Southern Collegiate Athletic Conference.
When I was here we were playing in Texas and Mississippi and Tennessee.
Right, and then in the 90s with the ICAC, we were in the same conference in the early 90s before DePauw went south and Wabash joined the NCAC. So that's a really good point. And then before that, neither one of us were in the conference.
See, DePauw has racked up nearly 500 yards. Both teams had over 400 yards a season ago. So 3rd down and aways. Again, here comes pressure. Ball is out. Loose football. Wabash falls on it. But now 4th and 18 coming up here, and the sacks are starting to add up for this DePauw defense.
I mean, this is when you're a D lineman, you love this. You just get a chance to tee off on a quarterback because they look deep downfield, and DePauw almost coming up with a turnover there.
That'll be sack number 6 for DePauw. And again, because in college football, the sack yards go against the rushing total. You're now looking at less than 30 yards rushing for Wabash, but frankly, DePauw's been doing that to everybody all season long. Timeout going to be called by DePauw with 4:07 left to play.
Yeah, not sure if Coach Deitch saw something he didn't like. I want to make sure, no, let's not give up anything right here. Let's try to seal this win.
I want to thank you for joining us on the ISC Sports Network. And we'll have complete post-game coverage for you. Kelsey Casper will get as many interviews as she can in terms of our post-game show. I want to go back and kind of retrace our steps on one story that we talked about off the top. This is going to be Don Morell's last game as the head coach for Wabash. Now, Wabash again will play in the Forever Lawn Bowl coming up next Saturday in Canton. But I think the general process is that Don will be there, but will kind of hand the reins to Jake Gilbert at that point.
Yeah, I think what I'm hearing, it'll be Jake Gilbert's game in the bowl game. They're going to give the seniors the option to play, but it's really going to be looking at next year.
Deep ball, jump ball, incomplete pass. Incomplete.
So I think Wabash is looking at the bowl game then as an opportunity. Let's get another weekend with our young guys. Let's look at what we got for next year. Get another week jump on the spring football. It's Coach Gilbert's team after today, since we're not moving on to the playoffs.
And again, for those that are watching that are alumni that maybe don't live in the Indiana or Indianapolis area anymore, that don't know Jake's backstory, obviously former assistant coach at Wabash, a Wabash man, did a wonderful job as the Westfield program was growing into 5A and 6A. And not just a great coach at Westfield, but very involved with the Indiana Football Coaches Association. And why do I bring that up? Every coach in the state of Indiana knows Jake already. The recruiting groundwork he did before he's even a college coach is huge. Wabash College is going to be in great hands from a football perspective with him. First misstep for McKay Hill all day. What's going to happen with 4 minutes to play and a 3-touchdown lead. Second and 14.
I think not. Go ahead.
Well, I'll say this too, because I live in Westfield and I'm a part of that football community and what Jake Gilbert has done there. And I don't know that I'd be a youth coach if it weren't for him and what he's done in that program. My son's here and he's wearing a Westfield Rocks jacket because he's part of that program now in 6th grade playing. It's an incredible football community. As a DePauw guy, I'm scared about how good Wabash might be under Jake, but a great coach, an incredible man, and I'm just glad to see someone like that that's going to be involved in this game and with these programs going forward.
Yeah, the trajectory of both of these programs programs is certainly at a good spot right now.
McCahill, Quigley has it. Epstein can't bring him down. Quigley, touchdown. The icing on the cake for DePauw. The bell will stay in Greencastle. It's a 4-score lead.
An unbelievable individual effort by Gabe Quigley. That is a senior that has made big play after big play throughout his DePauw career, and he gets one more here at home. Well, hey, he may have some more in the playoffs, but what a way to put the icing on the bell cake, Greg.
How about this for an all-time receiving day? Quigley, 3 catches, 157 yards, 3 touchdowns for Quigley today.
That's a Randy Moss game. I mean, that's a Randy Moss stat. That's incredible.
28, 75, and 54-yard touchdown catches for Quigley in today's game.
And another touchdown pass for Nathan McCahill. Just a great throw, but that effort to get away from those defenders, the stiff arm, and then extending at the last second to make sure he crossed the goal line. That's a happy DePauw Tiger right there.
So 42-14, and this is not indicative of probably how the game was played. It's also not indicative of Wabash not being a quality team. DePauw is this good. And, you know, obviously they have made frequent trips now the last few years to the Division III playoffs. They won when they played Rose-Hulman a couple of years ago. They have not been as successful over the last couple of years. Again, this is a DePauw team that I think has a chance to play into December. Again, they're going to get a bye next week, then get a home game the week after. There could be December football here at Blackstock Stadium.
That's crazy to think, but they absolutely expect to be playing into December around here. That's how good this team is. That's the expectations they've built. They really have built towards this over the last couple of years, and now a chance to really make a run.
And you mentioned the Wabash team this year. This is a Wabash team coming in, and DePauw is getting, you know, all the news and all the rankings. This Wabash team had one loss to the number 8 team in the country coming into this game, and you know, now down 42-14 to this DePauw team. So
fake the reverse. Flag is thrown. Thompson has the keeper, but again, there's a flag down. Another one comes down. Now Thompson showing off his track and field skills with the hurdle. That's a really athletic play that's not going to count because they're going to bring this one back. And again, there are multiple fouls on the play.
Yeah, looked a couple blocks in the back, one early in the turn, one as he got near midfield.
And our referee for today's game is Tim Hessing. We'll talk about the stage for the players. How about for the officials? If you're not officiating Division III football, there's not many games in front of 10,000 people as you have today.
Microphones, TV guys, all kinds of stuff that's different on this one.
2 flags on the play.
They're both on the near side. That might have been one down there, but they're both on the near side. We couldn't really see in the screen there.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Both fouls are holding on the return team. The penalty will be enforced 10 yards from the furthest flag.
Rest of Tim's crew: Scott Moon, Andrew Zink, Alan Black, Kevin Centers, Eric Fink, and Michael Daly officiating today's game. Again, last year and previous years, 32 teams made the Division III playoffs. There were no buys and there were hardly any at-large bids. Again, an at-large bid is no longer a concern for DePauw. They're going to be the lone team from the NCAC that makes it. But again, they are in line to get multiple home games. They're in line to get a bye next week. Of course, Wabash has made it deep runs into the playoffs in years gone by. Tackle made by Ethan Lowry. I want to say the quarterfinal round was as far as the Little Giants made it in their numerous Division III playoff runs.
Made it there twice.
I know Franklin made a quarterfinal run under Mike Leonard about 15 years ago. That's almost as old as Rake and Walk on the Zone on XL 950.
Those were the days.
That's a really niche reference for a handful of you.
There's still a T-shirt floating around my house somewhere.
You can still fit in it too, is the great thing. The pitch out to Dickerson. 3rd down and 10. Well, again, this is not This is kind of the result that Wabash, I think, kind of feared but not expected. And again, they played better than score indicated. But for a guy like Campbell, as a sophomore quarterback, how does he get better from today, Steve?
Yeah, I think that's right. Look, any bell snaps, I think, Brad, you mentioned bell snaps, used that term earlier. I like that term. Any bell snaps you get is going to help you for the next year. And Brandon just really came on and started getting control of this offense.
Campbell throws, Thompson catches, steps out of bounds, first down. Thompson in his final game in a Wabash uniform. He's had a good day individually. By the way, it was great to see his older brother Liam. He was at the Rivals Not Enemies luncheon, which Steve was gracious enough to invite me to on Wednesday. It was a wonderful function in downtown Indianapolis. I'll tell you more about it when we got the 2-minute timeout, and Campbell showing a little bit of the wear and tear of this game. Our final break. We're back to Greencastle in 60 seconds on the ISC Sports Network.
Our students have a gold standard academic experience driven by faculty who know and care about each one of them.
We're fostering new ways of seeing and thinking, equipping students with a creative method that can be applied liberally to challenges in society, science, business, technology, and beyond.
The fact that a student might do a co-curricular program like Management Fellows whilst pursuing a major in the creative school whilst doing a minor in liberal arts is something you just wouldn't find at another institution.
I will miss most all of my Wabash brothers. I can't even really imagine not ever seeing all the guys that I live with and all the guys that I play basketball with.
It's an environment where you can just be walking around at night and see a group of people talking and then just go join them. And then all of a sudden you have new friends. It really is that easy here. So I'm gonna miss that.
The brotherhood, the professors, the coaches, the managers, just the community, family aspect. I'm hoping that wherever I go work, it feels like this.
The DePauw Pet Band with the very appropriate final countdown with 2 minutes left to go. DePauw will hang on to the bell for a third consecutive year, and for a second time in as many playings in this building, they will win convincingly, 42-14. On the handoff, it is Dickerson. And again, Dickerson, a freshman. And again, DePauw's defense, you see how good they are, but the other great teams that Wabash has played this year didn't come close to slowing down Tyler the way that DePauw did today.
Yeah, really from the outset, too. I mean, there was not much running room those first couple of drives. I think that set the tone for the DePauw defense, and, you know, Wabash just could not get that running game going.
Campbell steps up, throws. That's Garrity. Good to see Garrity back out there.
Yeah, and I really like that play by Brand. You know, he got out and he kind of motioned to Connor. He's like, he looks comfortable outside of the pocket. Kind of motioned for him to go, and then he knew he was going to get hit, and he just flips it out to him.
Steve, if you were a senior and you were given the option to have the Bell game be your last game or play in a bowl game, there's no wrong answer. Which one would you take?
I can't imagine playing another game after the Bell game.
Catch made, first down.
After losing the Bell game.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what our seniors decide if given the option.
Again, there's no wrong answer there, folks. If you want to play another game, great.
No.
If you want to make the Bell game your last game, understandable.
Well, and I think given our seniors the option, we'll see what they want to do. It's just, there's so much, you know, we're so fortunate, both schools as players, to have this game.
Right.
Because no matter, regardless of how your season is going, there's always the Bell game. It's always the last game. It's always there, and it's such the end to a career unless you're going on to the playoffs.
Pump fake. Again, trying to find something, and throws this behind the intended target. Again, that's Tim Miller.
I think the neat thing, too, about it, it's not just the Bell game, it's Bell week. It's everything that leads up to it. It's all, you know, each school, each team has traditions they do throughout the week with the student body, with the rest of the team, with the coaching staff. So you get to experience all of that. And you're right, Steve, no matter how your season's going, it's that whole week, that whole experience that you get.
Yeah, and we talked about the telecast parties out there. You know, it's all, you know, the communities of both schools across the country, really across the world, are they have this week circled, and this weekend and this day and this game circled on their calendars.
Second down. Throw, and going to be out of bounds. There was some contact there, but that throw is going to be out of bounds and unable to make the completion. That's Whitty. That was the intended target. Third down. I want to give A special recognition to our producer director, Vince Morelez. This is his first Bell game. Vince, you're doing a wonderful job, buddy. Congratulations. Vince was our director on ISC for Lawrence North and Brownsburg last night. All of us seemingly were at Lawrence North and Brownsburg last night. Our partner, the referee, and his crew for that one. 3rd down and 10. Thompson.
Ooh.
I think.
A foot down?
Well,
I think he did on the second catch.
There was a bobble, but they're going to give it to him at the 15-yard line.
Wow.
Great effort.
Catch him 20 yards for Connor Thompson.
Well, I'm always thankful, Greg, that I'm able to be part of this broadcast, and it's just always so much fun to have this vantage point and to be into the game like this and be able to watch from up here and work with you as such a professional.
20-yard pickup, 1st and 10, 15-yard line. And this one thrown out of bounds. Nobody close with 39 seconds left to go. Well, I've had the pleasure of knowing Steve for the last 15 years. As I put on a really sappy Facebook post earlier, I hired Brad Walker-Merck out of college 20 years ago, back when I had hair and his wasn't gray, well before all the kids were around. This is after doing a daily show together for some time. This is our chance to work together once a year, and I look forward to it every year.
Oh, absolutely. It's so much fun, brings back a lot of good memories, and never thank you enough for that opportunity and this one as well.
There's an opportunity for Wabash. Touchdown for the Little Giants. They'll get one final score for this regular season. Catch made by T.J. Alexander, his 4th touchdown catch of the season. Give Campbell the touchdown toss, and now 42-20, extra point pending.
At the time, did you not realize the risk of hiring a DePauw grad right out of college?
Well, I actually hired 2 of them because I hired Chris May about the same time as well.
Fair enough.
I clearly didn't learn my lesson, is what I'm trying to tell you. Well, it is the holder. Saw him get one passing play during the game. And Rutgers' kick is up and good. There was a flag thrown, so hang on just a second. Again, Kelsey Casper will have the winning head coach and Brett Dietz. Try to get some player interviews post-game as well. And let's talk about the mark that Brett is about to attain. He's about to run his record as the head coach of DePauw, Brad, to 40-6.
It's amazing. I mean, and this was a team that had kind of been, up and down. Obviously, Bill Lynch here did such a great job for such a long time, too, but went through a few coaches before that. But, yeah, I mean, what Brett has built and has sustained, you've just seen it kind of get better year over year over year. And now it's just, class after class comes in, seniors go, and guys replace them. It's a system that works. Multiple quarterbacks have come in and had success. They can run the ball. They can pass. You don't think they're not known for any one thing. They do everything very well. Their defense is really good. This is a program that certainly seems to have some staying power under Brett Dietz, and they want to make a mark this year in the playoffs to really prove it.
And again, Brett is a D3 guy. Played at Hanover. Did spend some time playing overseas. Played in the Arena Football League. And he's a Division III guy through and through. Also want to have the chance to thank kind of our points of contact with these 2 great schools. Of course, I want to thank Bill Wagner and Brent Harris, who are the sports information directors extraordinaire for each of these 2 schools. But our point of contact for Wabash is Jim Amadon. Our point of contact for DePauw is Stevie Baker-Watts. When I say that, this is a coordinated broadcast effort of these 2 schools. And as not just the announcer for ISC, but the guy that kind of runs a few things for ISC. I'm involved in negotiating the production contract, and I cannot tell you the feeling I have knowing we are entrusted to bring this game to Wabash and DePauw alumni across the world each and every year. And that means that I'm talking with Stevie and Jim on a regular basis throughout the year. So thanks to those 2 for their trust in what we do on the ISC Sports Network. Timeout called DePauw, and want to see a rivalry game. We're taking a timeout about an onside kick in a 21-point game with 34 seconds left to go.
I'm sure DePauw is not thrilled, with their defensive numbers this year. They're probably not thrilled giving up that touchdown there late. Now they've got some backups in. Want to keep guys healthy, get some other guys some bell snaps like we were talking about. But leave a little pride there and giving up that score, and want to make sure you can secure this football and close the game out.
Well, wherever you might be watching from, we hope we have given you a taste of home. Whether that home was for 4 years in Crawfordsville or for 4 years or more in Greencastle. Good friend Bill Benner said it well on Facebook earlier this week. This is simply a bucket list item. If you're a sports fan as a Hoosier, you got to come do this at least once. And once you come do it once, you kind of want to come back every year. That works for us as broadcasters. It works as fans. And we're 364 days away from the next one of these at Little Giant Stadium in Crawfordsville.
And it's such a great setting at both of these schools, and the athletic facilities continue to improve. They get nice. The game day experience is so well run and so well put on. The tailgating, you know, even if you're not a fan or alumni of these schools, it absolutely is something on the list that you should do just because of the setting. And
yes, you get the occasional hand gesture on the broadcast from fans. Sometimes that's going to happen. Such is the nature of this game. And you would assume this is victory formation time here. And that'll be the case for DePauw. They'll take one snap, they'll take one knee, and they will take possession of the bell for one more year.
It's just pure Division III athletics, this game.
That's it, and that's that. Both these teams will play at least one more game this season. But this chapter, the 130th chapter in the history of the Monon Bell, is all about the team that's about to go 10-0 for a second season in a row. A 4-time champion of the North Coast Athletic Conference. DePauw 42, Wabash 21. That is your final score in Monon Bell, number 130.
Well, DePauw knew they had the better team coming in, and I think they proved that this afternoon in convincing fashion. Nothing against Wabash, who had an amazing season. This is just a next-level DePauw team this year, looking to make some noise in the playoffs, and that's what Brett Dietz and team wanted to see. They wanted to see them take care of business against a quality opponent, one that they haven't played a quality of in several weeks. So a huge win, a lot of momentum heading into the playoffs.
And there are some guardrails that are taking a beating right now as the storming of the field is underway. The DePauw students making their way onto the field. The DePauw players all want to take a turn and ringing that bell. And somebody stole a pylon. Let's see if we can get that one back at some point in time as well. But now for DePauw, again, we think you get a Saturday off. Now you get the opportunity to kind of recalibrate, make this a second season. Kelsey Casper is standing by with Brett Dietz.
Coach, your offense came alive in the fourth quarter, but this was a one-possession game at halftime. After the break, you guys come out and score 2 touchdowns in 2 minutes. How big of a role did that strong start play in this win?
We knew we wanted to start the second half really, really fast because it felt like they had a tiny bit of momentum there. We pride ourselves on being super gritty and be able to come back from adversity really quickly, and so we wanted to start fast and got a quick score on offense, and then the defense forced the interception and then be able to score right back, and that was a huge momentum shift. But the big part of the game was that fourth quarter drive where we just sucked every ounce of clock off the clock, and that was really big for the win.
Nathan McCahill, Gabe Quigley connecting 3 times in the end zone today. 2 seniors on this team. How big of an impact did they play in this one?
They're absolute studs. I mean, they're absolute studs that have meant a lot to this program, and moving forward now in the playoffs, we're going to have to ask them to play really good. And their plan was to take away 84, and he's a heck of a player, and they did that. But you're going to have to pay everywhere else on the field. So it was a great opportunity for our guys to come in a really big game and keep doing what they've been doing, and they definitely did that.
This journey almost identical to last season, undefeated regular season conference champs. But as you look to the postseason, what is the biggest difference in this group compared to last year?
They're not satisfied. The seniors talked about it from the very first day we came into camp, that not only did they want to win the championship, but they wanted to go on a really deep run. Our goal, it's not a secret anymore. We're trying to be the best DePauw football team ever. And that's what these guys are trying to do, and we're certainly not there yet, but we're on a path for that. So we're really excited to win this game, obviously to win the bell, everything for the DePauw community. I'm so proud of this team and this community. It means the world to us, but now we're not satisfied. We want to go deep in the playoffs now. We want to keep this thing rolling.
And for the 3rd straight year, the bell belongs to DePauw. I mean, the atmosphere, the fans, does this feeling ever get old?
It never gets old. I mean, anytime you win the bell and you can have that thing in the Lilly Center, for 364 more days. It means the world to this program. It means the world to this community. And I'm going to get used to hearing that bell ring every single day once again. So super excited for our team.
Appreciate it, Coach. Congratulations.
That's becoming trademark for Brett, those interviews with Kelsey. And again, but to be honest, it's a bit of a different sound in terms of acknowledging, hey, this is always the most important game, but now we want to add to it. That's how good this DePauw team is.
And that's what he said. The mission is to be the best DePauw team ever. And while this is a very storied institution with a lot of wins up there, amongst the leaders in Division III football history, they don't have a lot of postseason success. I mean, not that the postseason has been a thing that's been around in D3 for a lot of teams very often, but still, this is an opportunity to do something that no DePauw team has ever done, and that's what the focus is going to be. Whoever they play, whenever they play in the next couple of weeks here in Greencastle, it looks like a real opportunity to do something that hasn't been done in the history of the program.
Steve, for Wabash, names like Connor Garrity, Cannon Kelly, Enrique Ruiz, Cameron Ford, Connor Thompson, Will Olive, Stephen Thomas, Owen Volk, Cooper Jarvis, Avery Epstein. It's a great talented senior class that, again, may play one more game next week, may not, but no, they played in their final bell game.
Look, the optional bowl game notwithstanding, Brad knows exactly what I'm talking about. You get it done with this game, and it's not like any other sport because there are no adult tackle football leagues. Right? You're done. You take the helmet off, you take the shoulder pads off, and you take them off for good, and that really sinks into these seniors when it's their last game. But look, this is the Monon Bell. This Monon Bell game is the way we like it coming in, not the result so much from my end.
Of course.
But coming in where they're playing for the conference championship. Wabash had a good year. DePauw had a good year, and it's all about this game.
Let's talk to the senior quarterback for DePauw who threw, well, I'm almost thinking counting touchdowns here. 4 of them today. That'd be Nathan McCahill. He is standing by with Kelsey Casper.
Well, Nathan, Wabash hung in there till about the third quarter where this offense just lit up. How did this team pull off the win?
Really, we just stuck together. We knew that we were going to face some adversity in this game, so it was really just not getting too high or too low and just sticking to the plan, and we knew that eventually that stuff would start to break open.
You were able to find fellow senior Gabe Quigley 3 times today in the end zone. Just talk about the connection and how well it worked.
It really is. I mean, the whole week and really the whole year, I mean, we kind of see this stuff happen before it really happens, and I think that's what makes us so good, is just being able to vision how we think it's going to happen and then execute it when it happens.
Talk about your defense. They didn't give up 1 first down in the entire first quarter. What role did they play in this win?
I mean, everything, they really kept the offense in it when we were kind of having some ruts in the first quarter and the first half. So those guys, just holding them to 7 points when the offense didn't really have the best half in the first half. But, I mean, they really just played their ass off, and a great performance.
3 straight Monon Bells. It's staying in Greencastle. How does that feel?
I mean, it's everything. That's one of the big reasons why you come to DePauw, is to play in this game and to keep that bell on campus for everyone that's at DePauw going to school. So,
congratulations, Nathan. Best of luck to you guys in the postseason.
Thanks so much.
When Nathan tells the story a few years ago, yep, in my 4 years at DePauw, I was 3-1 in bell games. But when I started, I was 2-0 in bell games. 299 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. Caden Whitehead, 199 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Whitehead would like one more to get that 200 mark. But what a game from Whitehead. I mean, it was 99 yards the first half, so 100 in the second half. Pretty balanced, caught a couple of balls. I mean, just ran smart, ran patient, then showed the explosiveness in some of those runs in the second half. Again, it's a DePauw team that can beat you in so many ways on offense, and they showed that perfect balance here this afternoon, and that was even with Ballantyne sort of getting taken out of the game. That was a focus for that Wabash defense, but the other weapons, like Coach Dietz said, stepped up, and this is a team that has a really, really potent offense for whoever they play in the postseason.
Steve, final thoughts on this one?
Hey, look, it's a deep DePauw squad, and Wabash knew coming in we had our work cut out for us. The thing about DePauw this year, we knew their defense was going to be good, but then the numbers that DePauw's offense put up this year, so both sides of the ball, such a balanced team coming in, and again, this is what we want to play for in the Monon Bell, and it was another good one.
Brad, your final thoughts from the DePauw perspective?
Well, I mean, it really couldn't have gone much better for the Tigers this afternoon. A win against a quality opponent. That was what they wanted to get some good experience going into the next couple of weeks. They've probably secured a bye and, again, have a chance to do something that a team in DePauw history has not done before. So you got to be thrilled if you're Brett Dietz. A great win. It's always good to get the Monon Bell. Savor this tonight, this weekend, and then they turn and had that focus on the playoffs. But an absolutely great capstone to the end of the regular season for DePauw, and now it's on to the postseason.
Guys, let's do this again November the 15th, 2025 in Crawfordsville. Thanks, my friend. Steve Hoffman, great to work with you. Brad Walker-Merca. Kelsey Casper, tremendous job. We hope you join us again next year as well. Our fourth chapter of this rivalry on ISC, but we are an infinitesimal part of what this rivalry is all about. Two wonderful schools, two tremendous communities, and one game that we have celebrated now for going on 14 different decades. In this chapter, it belonged to the home side in DePauw. Your final score today, Tigers 42, Little Giants 21. Goodbye from Greencastle, and thanks for joining us from Monon Bell 130 on the ISC Sports Network.